Hey, welcome in, everybody. Happy middle of the week to you. It is Wednesday, and Gwynn and Chris getting rolling here on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. I remember, I'm going to say 20 years ago or so, guys, my wife threw me a surprise birthday party. A lot of people in attendance at that party. Among the attendees that evening was none other than our guy. Tony, Teddy Ballgame, Ted Leitner. He was at the party, and there's other luminaries. Anyway, I'll never forget that I was asked to make a speech near the end of the party, thanking everybody for coming, which I did, and then proceeded to turn the proceedings back over to the party itself. Ted Leitner came up to me as nicely and as kindly as he could, but as a man who understood the kinds of things that you can do to cause turmoil in a relationship. He said, "Man, I can't believe you're going to get away with that." And I said, "What?"
I've heard this.
And he said, "You forgot to thank your wife for throwing the party." And my face went, blank.
your face went blank. Your heart fell through your stomach.
Heart fell through, and darn it, if he wasn't 100% right, she wasn't pleased. So
this is where you got to run back up.
Right. So
Excuse me.
Hold on. Hey, on the party. Yeah. So Teddy Ballgame, thank you for that lesson, and I've never forgotten it. And so it is with that. I open the show today by saying happy anniversary to the lovely Lori out there. It is our wedding anniversary. Good for us. Congratulations to us. So anyway, no way I'm going to forget that ever. I never forget to thank her ever again. And I always do. I kind of always think of that Ted Leitner story whenever
we do
come up with something like this.
How many years? I don't know. Is that something you don't ask?
No, I think you can ask that.
Oh, okay. Because that does give away age.
A little bit, but everybody knows I'm over the hill and old, so
okay, good.
It doesn't really matter. Oh, you want me to tell you
the number, please?
The more, what it sounds like it's okay to ask, but now that I'm about to tell you, it does seem like, wow, this makes me really sound old. Like there's no way I can even be 50 once I tell you this, right?
No.
Unless we got married as teenagers.
Can I guess?
Don't guess. No,
I don't actually know, but I think it's in the 35 realm.
It is 36 years today.
Oh,
that's pretty amazing
awesome.
in this day and age.
Yes, it is. I think it's incredible myself. So thank you very much.
Can you imagine? I think
we got married, just as point of reference, we got married 5 days after the famous San Francisco Bay Area earthquake.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that, if you can think back that far, if you remember where you were then,
I do.
That was the week we got married.
I actually told this story on the Skraby show the other day because I was living there and I remember it as a 4-year-old, how crazy it was.
Yeah.
What was I was just about to ask. Oh, we were talking about this on our off-air video that you have at Gwynn and Chris on YouTube. And he was saying, can you imagine me on a dating app? Or was that off-air? I don't know
where that was, but yes, we've been married, that long.
I cannot imagine
I would have no
either, Tony.
I'd be completely lost. Completely, utterly, what I would picture in my head, that fish that is sitting on the side of the boat when you bring it out of the water and it's just flopping around, doesn't have any idea what's going on. That would be me if anything ever happened at this point.
What a visual.
Right?
Chris swiping.
Just, what do I do?
If I think they're attractive, I go right.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do. In fact, if I got that far, I'd be surprised, Skraby.
That doesn't sound fun to me at all.
Not at all. So, happy anniversary to the lovely Lori and to us. Good for us. We got, obviously, a lot of baseball and sports. The NBA season started last night. We'll get into some of that. Padres news of the day reported today, if you didn't know already, that apparently Brian Esposito was one of the first, if not the first, actual interviews that the Padres did for a manager. I believe that was reported to be on Monday. And remind everybody who that is, Tony, for those who don't.
That's the Padres bench coach. Anytime Mike Schilt was kicked out,
he was the guy that
making
took
the
over.
changes.
Yeah.
Brian's a smart cookie, man. I mean, he's
probably on his way to being a manager at some point, if not sooner rather than later.
No doubt.
And then, of course, I think the more the news that tracks more with most people is that Albert Pujols, all reports said that today was his day to interview for the job. And we've heard nothing out of, that potential interview yet. Waiting for my sources on Twitter to start telling me what happened, since there's so many people out there who seem to know what's going on in the Padre organization. But
I did see some rumors of.
Oh, did you?
And these are rumors about
Okay.
what
Where'd you see these rumors on our good old X?
on X, but
Okay.
I believe it came from some athletic article. I'm not sure which one.
Okay.
I
But they
believe,
clipped
but
it.
not sure.
Yeah, I know. This is why I'm prefacing with this, but it was saying that Albert Pujols already has a pitching coach in mind that he wants to bring with him. I can't remember the guy's name. He was a Dodger pitcher, but
Ramon
Martinez.
Ramon Martinez.
Pedro's brother,
Yeah.
older brother.
Yeah.
That would cause an issue.
You said that the other day, I believe.
Yesterday,
Right?
but
Yeah.
we didn't talk about it.
And why would it cause an issue?
I don't think we talked
Because
about it on
Ruben
the air.
Niebla is the pitching coach.
Oh, yeah, duh.
That would be an issue.
Yes,
It would be
an issue of him actually bringing him here. I know
Yes.
you talk about in terms of him wanting a pitching coach. I mean, that's his prerogative. But yes, in terms of getting him in on the staff, that would be.
I don't care who you are.
Let's put it. Okay.
I don't care who you are.
stretch.
You come to this town. You become this man. You become the manager of the Padres. Sorry, I'm getting fired up. You do not kick Ruben Niebla out of town. Come on.
Well, all right. So clearly, if this rumor is
It's
true,
true.
and we don't know it's true,
I've said that.
Right.
we don't know it's true. But if
Right.
it's true, that could be basically
A deal breaker.
A deal breaker, if that was the case, because I would think the Padres. Now, it could also not be a deal breaker if Ruben Niebla took a job as manager somewhere else.
That's also true.
So maybe putting one and one together here and hopefully getting two, which doesn't always happen. But if Albert Pujols said, hey, if he came in and in his interview said, I got the perfect guy, if, something happened with Ruben, this would be my guy, then I see nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
But I think most guys that take over as manager would have to get the blessing of Ruben and have that work. Don't you, Tony? Or does Ruben have enough cachet?
would have to say that again.
Well, I think they would have to. I would personally, if I was hiring a new manager, I'd want to make sure they get along with Ruben Niebla and they're all on the
For
same
sure.
page, and
For
that
sure.
Ruben is good with them.
yeah, because listen,
being the new manager, etc.
Regardless of who takes over as manager, there is no guarantee that they get to pick anybody
Yeah.
on the staff. We see that year in, year out. New managers take over. They don't necessarily
Not
get
always.
To,
Yeah,
matter of
sometimes
fact,
they do.
I would say lately, more often than not, they don't get to pick their staff. Their staff is kind of either a collaborative effort, or the staff is already picked before they fall into the seat. So again, this is a unsubstantiated rumor that
Hey, that's right. And thank you for this unsubstantiated rumor, Skraby. Gave us 5 minutes of material
It's
to
interesting.
talk about something that may not actually even remotely be happening at all.
Let's be honest. That's about 90%
Yeah,
of what we
that's
talk
also
about
true.
in sports.
That's
Fair
also
enough.
true.
Fair enough. So, all right, but that's the news. And once our crack reporters on Twitter/X start claiming they know how the interview went today, we'll pass along those rumors for you as well. All right, we can't get too much further, but I wanted to start with that so you get the Padre thing. But this is a big deal, and it's back. And it's the biggest fan contest. And I'm glad everybody's here, ready to go at the start of the show. This Monday, November 3rd, 2 weeks from Monday, November 3rd, our grand prize will be back in the biggest fan contest. And what you get if you win that is a night in the Odyssey Suite at a Padre game for 20 tickets and yourself. You get 20 tickets for you and your friends to watch the game in the Odyssey Suite. And whether you want us or not, the whole fan staff will enjoy the game with you.
Yes.
I don't know. Are you even allowed? Could you request, hey, I'd like most of the staff there, but can Chris stay home? That type of thing.
Fan.
Huh?
So I said they are the biggest fan.
Right. You're the biggest fan. I think you should be able to request who you want from our staff to be there. Anyway, it all starts Monday, November the 3rd. Go to 97.3 The Fan, sd.com/biggest fan. Do that. between now and November 3rd. Get your name registered. And then you listen. We'll be announcing names each day, 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 5:30 on our show every day, and you'll get a chance to qualify for that great prize. But the first step for you is to go to 973thefansd.com and get registered. Okay.
And our biggest fan from last year, Rod. Sorry, Rod.
What a great winner. What a great winner he was.
He's not eligible.
Oh, he can't win this time.
He just put on the chat, please make sure to enter. It's someone else's turn to be the biggest fan. My reign is over.
Well, I would say you're still a pretty big fan, though, Rod, no matter how it goes
definitely.
there. All right, so and make sure you get started on that. All right, here's my quick thing going into the first break. It's not a rant necessarily, guys, but I was watching the news last night, the local news, and I only watched it because I had caught wind of that accident. Auto accident, the car accident that happened yesterday. Yeah. I'm sure you guys probably heard about it.
It was pretty bad.
It was on the 8 freeway, eastbound, just past College, going out towards El Cajon. It happened late Monday night at like 10:30 at night. 2 cars driving at, I'm sure, a crazy rate of speed. One of them flipped over, and there was this big accident. As it turned out, the driver of the car that flipped over died on the scene. But that isn't the part, even though that's sad enough, that is not the part that caused me to start crying, basically, as I was watching the news last night. The part that was the fact that 25-year-old officer Lauren Craven arrived on the scene and she wasn't called to the scene. She was driving by and said, I got to get out. I got to help. I'm a police officer. This is what I need to do. I needed to see what we can do here. And she herself got hit by another motorist, and she has died. Now, the only reason I'm not trying to bring everybody down, I'm just trying to say I think you now know why I lose my mind every time I see somebody speeding at 120 miles an hour going in and out of traffic on the freeway. I know that's not you listening to our show right now, but it's somebody out there, and I just wish that we could get what happened to this young lady in our minds the next time we need to go that fast. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine a life being ended that soon, that unnecessarily. But that's what happened.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Crazy.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. But it was just something I felt strongly about.
It's,
I don't get tears in my eyes watching the news. Well, no, nowadays you watch the news, you can cry. But no, this was just so sad.
Yeah, it was tough.
It really was. And anyway, hopefully, you keep that message to, people around you. You can still, you want to break the speed limit a few miles. I know you're not supposed to do that. Just stop the 115 mile an hour thing. All right, we're going to go to the program here, get it rolling. We got Ryan Finley. San Diego Union Tribune is on today. We got SDFC coming up on the very first playoff match in franchise history. They'll actually find out who their opponent is later tonight. And a regular Wednesday of Gwynn and Chris activity on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, guys, Woodsy here. My wife
these things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. 4th hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard. Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not used to complimentary to you, but
Can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard. Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
The big wrong one. This hour is brought to you by Toyota of Poway, voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today. Toyota of Poway has been voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today, with ARPs as low as 0% and tons of new Toyotas on the ground. No tricks, only treats during the Trucktober sale event happening now only at Toyota of Poway or online at toyotaofpoway.com in the heart of San Diego. Let's not forget the World Series. It's going to start Friday. Still,
I'm aware of that.
Still haven't heard yet who Seattle may start. Have seen that.
They're going to start no one.
Oh, is that right?
Well, Seattle's not in it.
I mean, sorry, you're right. Toronto. Toronto, my fault.
I was going to say George Kirby's starting.
Well, that would be a bad choice.
That was very clever of you there.
That would be a bad choice, even if he was available.
Blue Jays haven't decided on the starter yet, or they haven't announced one at least. They may have decided on just not let us know.
I hope they go bullpen, and I hope the first guy gives up 8 runs. I'm so sick of the bullpen games.
You want the Dodgers to win?
I don't, but I don't want to see the bullpen thing ever work. That's how strongly I feel about that.
Speaking of baseball, you get to the end of the year, you start to get more of these finalists for these different awards. We saw Toddy at the as a finalist for the Gold Glove. We saw today 2 Silver Slugger finalists, one in Manny Machado at third base, and the other in Jake Cronenworth as the utility. He's up against Alec Burleson and Brendan Donovan of the Cardinals. So
I think that those two guys statistically both had better numbers, but I've also seen teammates cancel each other out before in these kind of votes.
Yeah.
Jake could get in there. Third base, I mean, who you got against Manny? I mean, Charlie Hayes played third base. He couldn't get keep Iron Hayes.
I'd say it's Manny.
That's what I mean. Third base was not a strong hitting position this year in the National League.
I think Manny had the best year of all 4 of those guys.
So
Muncy missed a ton of time.
Yeah.
Riley missed a ton of time.
Austin Riley, yeah.
Chapman probably played the most out of the 3, but
he also
he missed some time as well.
I think Manny should win that for sure.
I agree.
So that'd be good.
The other news, it sounds like after about 72 hours and some change, the Giants have come to an agreement with Tony Vitello of the Tennessee Vols.
He's along, by the way, I forgot to mention this yesterday, Tony Vitello, on the list of long-lost Ello relatives out there in the sports world.
Because it has VIT in front?
Yeah, his last name ends in Ello, so there must be a connection somewhere. Did you not get that?
I didn't get
it. It's like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, where's he going now? This guy's nuts.
Yes,
no,
indeed.
if you got Ello at the end of your name, there's got to be
some connection.
Yeah, right.
NBA got kicked off yesterday, and there was a couple different things that I thought about. Oklahoma City ends up winning, of course, on 2 SGA free throws at the end to get him in.
And I can't complain, though.
No.
Did you see the play?
I did.
I mean, it was funny. Skraby told us yesterday as an aside. He goes, when I play basketball, the one thing I cannot help doing is falling for a pump fake. And I told him, I said, you're not alone.
You're not.
Well, Kevin Durant, of all people, was the one who, got. Now, I will say this. It was about the 4th pump fake he tried.
Listen.
But he kept trying and finally got Durant in the air and got the foul. And Durant knew it, too. He didn't argue.
You know who revolutionized the
triple
quadruple? No, Mr. Kobe Bean Bryant.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He'd sit there and he'd give you 4. Even as a spectator, you'd be like, "Come on, man, you can't think this.
Put it up, will you?
You can't think a 5th one is going to work." But sure enough, get somebody in the popcorn machine, and
that's what happened.
SGA ends up hitting those 2 free throws.
He did. I will say this real quick before Durant tried to lose the game earlier. He called the timeout they did not have.
That's right.
Right at the end of regulation, and I gotta. I gotta ding my officials here. They didn't have the guts to call it. There's no way they.
We now go to our resident referee, Chris Ello.
We haven't heard that in a while.
This was all about not having the guts to call it.
You think so? You think
you
think one of the officials saw it and just decided I'm not calling it?
All saw it, Tony. He got the rebound. You're not supposed to ball watch, but that's pretty much where your eyes are going to go at the end of the game. Regulation time, you're going to see him grab the rebound. He turns around, puts both arms around the ball, and gives the timeout sign. And no one had the guts. And the Oklahoma City people are like,
what's going on?
Yeah, he just did that. They didn't have the guts to decide the game. And I know a lot of people say, well, that's good. The ref shouldn't decide the game. But as we've talked about,
that's decided.
If you don't call something, you decided the game.
Yeah.
So anyway, he got away with that one. But he didn't get away with a pump fake.
The Lakers would lose in the second game. But in between that game, I wanted to get your take on this. I don't know if you saw this. Halftime of the Rockets OKC game.
Okay.
Michael Jordan was featured during the halftime, and it was
I heard that he was going to be, but I didn't see it.
It was a little segment basically about the game and his involvement and this, that, and the other. And it was nice to see him on the TV, but I don't know from watching this if we're going to get to see him in the way I think.
Does he look comfortable
doing
does. It?
He does.
Okay.
He looks comfortable.
Okay.
It was him and your favorite, Mike Tirico.
Yeah. Well, Mike Tirico deserves the opportunity, certainly.
He doesn't have enough going on.
Just ask Mike Tirico if he deserves the opportunity. He'll tell you.
Guys, I received a text message right now from our guy, Sam Levitt. He's listening to the show, and he's fired up.
Oh.
In all caps. He said, I completely agree. Refs looking right at Durant. If only more refs were like Chris.
I'm not saying I would have the guts to do it.
Oh, you're
I'll
just
be honest
pointing out
with
that
you.
they didn't have the guts.
Yeah, I said they didn't have the guts. I'm telling you, in a packed gym on a Friday night, I'm going to decide the game on that. It would be hard. I will tell you, it would be hard. But I know if I did it, my superiors would think the world of me for doing it. Anyway. Go back to it, too. Thank you, Sam.
Jordan speaking to NBC play-by-play voice Mike Tirico in the first installment of a series the network is calling MJ Insights to Excellence.
Okay.
Said he made a conscious.
Sorry.
That does sound boring right there. I will tell you.
No, I mean, I'm over the Michael Jordan stuff. We've already done.
Wait. How much has he been inundating you the last several years?
That's
hardly
very
ever
interesting.
in the
That's
media.
very interesting that you say that
Yeah.
because he is being questioned about his lack of
Right. He's not involved in anything.
Oh, I never said Michael. I'm saying
I thought
there's
you said MJ.
documentaries. I'm not saying
there's one documentary.
One
There's
documentary
more
that
than
ran
one
during
documentary.
COVID.
There's one.
I saw something else on Netflix.
No, you did.
I did. I sure did.
It's the same documentary, buddy.
The Last Dance.
Yes.
I would know if it was the same documentary.
I don't know. Have you
all
seen
you know?
documentary?
All I know is in the Last Dance documentary, you'll know it's Jordan. You'll know it's that if you see the bloodshot eyes,
Right?
because he was drinking the scotch.
Those were noticeably gone. During his
Oh, good. He
Someone got
cleared
to
the
him,
eyes
huh?
out for last night.
He said he made a conscious decision to prioritize family over being seen in the public eye. That said, he also acknowledged a desire to pay it forward. He said, I have an obligation to the game of
Good
basketball
for him.
as
on
a
that.
basketball player is able to be able to pass on messages of success and dedication to the game of basketball. Those segments will air in part as we go on. Now, I think a lot of people were hoping they get like.
How did this one go, Tony? Or what did he
It went
talk
good.
about?
It
What did
went
he
good.
talk about? Anything? And I mean,
It was a lot about him making a decision to initially, in the last however many years, to really not be in the public eye
okay.
very
So he
much.
was explaining where he's been.
Right,
Okay.
basically. He did tell a story about renting a house during one event, and he was doing like a meet and greet with the family. He was renting the house, and he said the guy asked him to shoot one free throw, and he said he hadn't touched a basketball in years, like so long. And he said that's probably the most nervous he's ever been
for any free
because
throw.
he knows that those
He's
kids
Michael
have been
Jordan,
told
yeah.
this story of this guy that was like
Doesn't
30
miss,
years ago,
yeah.
right? And so
Did
I
he
thought
make
that
it?
he did say he made
Okay.
it.
I don't think he would have told the story otherwise.
That's true.
In
That's
true
true.
Michael Jordan fashion, he went from kind of showing his vulnerability and being kind of nervous
Yeah.
to instantly snap when he was asked the question, "Did he make it?" Snap right back.
He looked at the guy and said, "What do you think?" Yeah.
Basically,
I am still Michael
Basically.
Jordan. Yeah.
I think what I was trying to get to, the point I was trying to get to is I think a lot of people were hoping we'd get a Michael Jordan that was like analyzing what's happening, almost in the same way you see Chuck and
Oh, yeah.
Shaq.
They wanted
Well, he
X's
can't-
and O's.
That's not going to be
He's not going to
something.
be them. I just hope, and I'm going to try to watch this for going forward. I hope that it doesn't become the low-hanging fruit, which is to sit back and complain about the way the game is
I don't-
compared to when he played.
I
Do you know what I mean?
I think he's
'Cause
always
that's low-hanging fruit.
I think
We've
he-
heard that.
I think he's always taken a different approach to it compared to his his colleagues that he played with during that time. So
Yeah.
we'll get a chance to see it as we go along. He's 62 years of age at this point. We'll see where it goes. I just thought it was interesting that he hadn't touched a basketball forever and was like nervous.
It's always like when golfers say I haven't touched a golf club in like a year,
Yeah.
and then they go out and they just swing it and it's perfect again.
Well, there's probably a little nervous though if they're around people that are expecting them to be perfect.
Yeah.
It says NBC said the next installment of Jordan's conversation with Tirico will air October 28th, and this is a good one. And that one of the next topics covered would be about load management. Get a chance to hear
Back in
from
my day, there
That
was
one may be
no
back
load
in my day because
management.
he never load managed for sure. Yeah. not
They already-
something that he did.
They
Or
already
anybody
have
did,
some of the
frankly.
excerpts from it, but we'll get to that a little bit later. All right, let's get to break. When we come back, we have our SDFC guest, Ryan Finley of the San Diego Union Tribune.
I understand there's a little controversy surrounding the team right now.
Yes, Chucky is got into it with the upper management, if you will.
I mean, can this city just get out of its way? Just go to the playoffs.
You know, check that. It actually didn't say he got into it, upper man. He just said there was an altercation,
a verbal altercation.
Yeah, and it's not said who it was with.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that when Ryan Finley joins us next here on Gwynn and Chris.
The biggest guests in San Diego.
Chris, Ello, Lori Ello, celebrating our anniversary. Reminder, in case you missed the first segment. Tony Gwynn Jr. out there, or here. Matt Skraby over there. How were the Chronicles last night, sir?
Oh, very, very good. Yeah.
All right.
I had lots to talk about.
Chronicles return tonight after our show at 6 o'clock.
Don't know what I'm going to talk about later, so
all right.
we'll figure that out.
I know it's a little quieter on the sporting schedule today. I mean, you got all the other NBA teams opening their seasons tonight, those who did not play last night. But I think maybe the number one event on the calendar of San Diego sports fans tonight ought to be the soccer match between Real Salt Lake and Portland.
That's right.
It's on Apple TV. Right. It's on Apple TV if you get that. 7:30.
I gotta tell you guys.
Okay, what you got?
I gotta tell you guys. I bit the bullet.
You broke down?
I did. I figured I'm gonna buy it next year. I'm certainly gonna want to watch these playoffs.
Okay.
So I went ahead and purchased the MLS, the prorated MLS package.
Right. You didn't have to buy the whole year just for the playoffs.
I will next year, which I'll get over at that point. But
I think Skraby and I's reaction to that is, some of us have that in the budget and some of us don't.
I hear you.
What?
I got it in the budget.
You got it in the budget? Okay.
Not doing it.
I certainly don't have it in the budget.
It's not doing it.
But anyway, if you have Apple TV, you can see, find out the winner of that match tonight will take on SDFC. Game 1 is Sunday evening at 6:30 at Snapdragon Stadium. I saw the rest of the schedule. Game 2 is November. Now I think it's the 3rd. And then
they love their spacing out in soccer.
Well, they have to space it out some.
Well, I get that.
Can't play back-to-back days.
You can't?
No.
Not really.
Don't they don't do that in the World Cup?
No, they do not at all.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it's actually once you get to the college realm, you're not playing back-to-back.
I'm looking it up.
The irony is that it's only in youth sports
in college,
that they play.
You're right. In college, when they have like a postseason tournament for the conference, you play like 3 matches in 3 days, and it's almost really tough.
Well,
yeah,
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure San Diego State's done it.
I'm pretty sure
that could be
maybe in men's, but not in women's.
Okay.
They're not certainly
they get
not
one day off.
They get multiple days off.
Okay. I'll check with my man Ben Pearson on that one. All right, here's the schedule for the first round. Sunday 6:30 here. November 1st, it'll be in either Salt Lake or Portland, game 2. And if they go to game 3, it would be November 9th. So that's still a ways off for the finish of the first round series. And that'll be back in San Diego. So those are the plans you have for that. But I know a lot of people are excited about game 1. Ryan Finley, the San Diego Union Tribune, is going to be joining us shortly. But he cannot join us until I remind you that he will be joining us.
It's the best idea I've ever had.
No, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen because people are going to start leaving the show. People are like, you know what? All they do is read commercials the whole time. I want everybody to understand this is all Skraby's fault.
Go ahead, Skraby.
And this is, we have to read this stuff so Skraby can get paid. So this is why
you're not a part of that.
My compensation is separate, I believe. I don't know. But we do need to remind you that all guests appear on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Been doing it since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. All right, so, Sunday 6:30. I heard a rumor that one of us 3 would be going to the match.
No rumor. It's true.
It's true. You're the guy, huh?
In the building, for sure.
You're going. Tony Gwynn Jr. will be there.
Is it going to be not just myself, my family's first SDFC game?
Great.
But it's a playoff game.
They're going to have a great time. I mean, your kids especially.
I've heard nothing but
fans.
Awesome things from Manny and company. So.
Manny's going to be there.
Name dropper. Our guy's ready.
Well, I can't drop the name. I'm not going to be there with him. He's just going to be there. He's one of the owners of the team.
I don't know why I'm being a jerk right now.
Well, it's, not that far off the norm. Ryan Finley is our guy from the San Diego Union Tribune. Sorry you had to put up with that, Ryan. Welcome to the show, sir. How goes things on this Wednesday?
Things are good. Tony, you've never been? It's
No,
fun, man. You'll enjoy it.
I think I've heard nothing but fabulous things. I'm looking forward to it.
The atmosphere is great. You know, Ryan, what do you think the crowd? Let's start right at the top. What do we think the crowd's going to be? Because I'm assuming playoff matches were not included in the season ticket package. So the organization has to go back in and make sure they get these tickets sold. Have you heard any thoughts about that? Because I know everyone in San Diego is really excited. I hope they fill it up.
And I think so too. And I think it'll be full or full enough, I guess. You know, this is a pretty big deal for them. You know, the first playoff match in franchise history, a chance to make them run sort of at that elusive championship for San Diego. I think that matters. It helps being the number one seed. I think that they've captured San Diego's imagination a little bit here. You know, yes, it's a long season, right? And it's hard to sort of maintain that level of energy and that level of fandom over the course of 8-9 months. But you know, this is a match that really matters. And again, they're running out of firsts. This could be one of their last firsts of their season.
Yeah, there you go.
Ryan, we were kind of kicking this around shortly after the Padres were eliminated, and it dawned on us that if SDFC gets to a championship and wins one, they will be providing, you know, I think what a lot of people would consider the first major championship in this city. Now, how do you think that would fall? I mean, obviously there is so much energy around SDFC, but they are relatively new to the space. And what type of impact do you think it could have?
Well, you know, Tony, you've seen it. You've been around San Diego sports your whole life. You know, San Diego likes a winner.
Yeah.
San Diego supports a winner. And it doesn't, you don't have to be the best team in your league every year, but it helps when you try. And it helps when you put forth the effort to put a win on the field. I think it's no different in soccer. I think that if San Diego were to make a deep run here or even win the whole thing, I think it would turbocharge soccer fandom here in San Diego. It would capture the casual fan, right? I think what we see now at San Diego FC games is people who know sort of the intricacies of MLS, maybe soccer super fans in San Diego, right? This would capture the casual fan.
Yeah.
You know, growing up here myself, Tony, I remember when the Chargers would make the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
And, you know, the secretaries at my school or my parents' friends who I didn't know were sports fans at all of a sudden would have Charger jerseys on, or, you know, they'd put the lightning bolt in their window, right? You know, that's the casual fan, right? That's what we're trying to capture in San Diego, I think, is sort of the minds and the hearts of the casual fan. And so I think that a playoff performance would certainly go a long way toward bringing more people into the fold for soccer in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a lot already. This would be over the top. Ryan Finley is our guest. He's the sports editor of the San Diego Union Tribune and covers our soccer guys, the SDFC. I'm kind of just want to piggyback a little on Tony's question, because just I don't know, the sight of a parade going on or something in this town is something is totally foreign to us, right? We've never had one. And the fact that the Padres have been here all that time, you'd almost have to be careful celebrating a little too much. I don't think you'd want to step on what the Padres have meant to this city. Do you see it becoming just maybe a tad uncomfortable if they end up being the first to win?
You know, maybe the dam will burst, right? Maybe all it takes is one, and then it's just championship after championship.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it would be okay to have a parade, because then you'd know exactly what route you would take if and when the Padres did it, or San Diego State got back to the Final Four, or something like that. You know what? I'm not sure it matters what sport the championship comes in. I think most San Diegans would be thrilled to have a championship.
How about the news that came out today? At least it hit kind of the Athletic today. Ryan Chucky Lozano had an altercation with someone after, you know, being subbed out in the second half of that Houston game. How much of an impact can this have? I mean, I know they have missed Chucky at different parts of the season and seemingly have been able to do it flawlessly, but I would assume a player like that you'd like to have come this time of year.
Yeah, you know, our Mark Ziegler, who is our resident soccer expert, he has a message in with SDFC right now, trying to see exactly what it means. You know, Mikey Varas, hinted earlier in the week that they would address the Chucky stuff later in the week. They had media availability Friday around noon out at Singing Hills. So my guess is we'll know more, no later than Friday. But yeah, I mean, it's big. If he's suspended or if he's not playing, that's big. He's one of their, not only one of their most bankable players, one of their designated players, but he's somebody who has big match experience.
Yeah.
And, you can't there's so much of a premium placed on that, especially in soccer, right? And when nobody else on the team has ever really gone through this before, having Chucky Lozano on your roster is a plus. I think everybody over there would say they'd rather have Chucky engaged and playing than on the bench.
Yeah.
That said, between the international breaks, some of the injuries that he's had this year, and everything else, they've sort of been forced to play and find ways to succeed without him. And, you look at Saturday, that's what happened. I'm naive, guys. I thought Chucky Lozano didn't play Saturday because the match was played in the rain on turf. He was coming back from international competition, and this is a guy who, frankly, they need to have healthy for the playoffs. I figured that was sort of a healthy scratch, right? Come to find out, there's something more to it than that. So we'll see. But you know what? SDFC has figured it out without him. Amal Pellegrino had 2 goals on Saturday in that big 4-0 win over Portland. There's a path to a championship without Chucky Lozano, but it's certainly easier with Chucky Lozano.
Ryan, Portland plays Salt Lake tonight in the play-in game. I'm sure, everyone in SDFC is going to be watching this. I looked it up. I'm sure you're aware. They're aware. Obviously, just played Portland the last match. Yeah. Just beat them 4-0. I think it would be, pretty cool to play them again. I would think it would certainly be on their minds. Real Salt Lake, they haven't played since 2 matches a long time ago, April and May, and they actually lost one of those to Real Salt Lake. So did they root for Portland here, or should we root for Portland, or is it the typical once you get to the playoffs, it's a whole different animal anyway?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think it would be Portland. They have sort of the most recent scouting report on Portland, right? They were just preparing for them last week.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot has changed. Mikey Varas told us last week too. This time of year, guys, you sort of are who you are, right? Yeah. You're not changing what you do in the month of October, heading into MLS playoffs. So I think that they would be more comfortable playing Portland. The thing that I don't know, just because we don't really have a sample size for this, is it harder to beat a team twice in 3 weeks? Is it harder, then you've got to beat them twice to advance in the playoffs? Is there more of a challenge having just faced them? I'm not sure. But I think that Portland is probably the team you'd rather face, just because, you've seen them recently, what you're getting, and what you have to do to beat them.
Watching a guy like Dreyer this year as the year went along, and
he should be the MVP. Never mind this. Who's it? Missy? What's his name with the other guy?
I believe they call it. I think it's Messi.
Oh,
yes,
sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of end of the season awards, I mean, his name is involved. I know it sounds like Messi is the clear-cut favorite for the MVP. He won the Golden Boot this year as well. I mean, how good has Dreyer been? I mean, is he certainly worthy enough to be in this MVP conversation?
Oh, sure. I think he'll finish second would be my guess, behind Messi. It's really hard when you're competing with a guy who's the biggest name in global soccer, also your goals leader in your league this year. The people love goals. The thing that makes Dreyer to me so interesting is how versatile he is. It's not just that he's a goal scorer, it's that he's one of the top assist men in the league. There's a versatility and a team-first approach that he has that I think really resonates well. To me, the big surprise this year, sort of big picture, is that it's Anders Dreyer who has become their best player. And maybe he's not the face of the franchise necessarily, but he's had a much better season than Chucky Lozano has. He's the guy who's been in the conversation for all these, major awards. I think he's certainly the team MVP. So, to me, it's that, he's never going to be Messi in terms of flash or in terms of goal scoring. But the things that he brings to this team are just as important, because he's selfless. He's played with a lot of different guys with all the injuries around him, and it doesn't seem to have slowed him down at all. Saturday, again, he was just amazing.
Yeah, he was.
Saturday against Portland and playing with Amal Pellegrino, who's been here like a month and, sort of brand new to the position. The two of them certainly seem to have a chemistry that should serve them well in the playoffs.
He's our Messi. And he's been a pretty good facsimile, man. I mean, he scored the first goal. Yeah. Like it started right at the beginning, and Dryer's carried it the whole year. Real quick, we appreciate the time. I always want to throw in there too. You remember how it was a while ago, but the first couple of home games, remember there was a little controversy here and there was some chants and there was controversy there about, some unrest in the stand. This organization, tell you,
good point.
They have been perfect this year, practically, Ryan. I mean, they met those things head on. They dealt with them. They took care of it. The fan experience has been fantastic all year, and obviously the product. So I know these guys have gotten a lot of credit on the field. They deserve that. But this organization, I think, deserves a lot of credit for what they've done in the first year. It's really quite a success story. And, I don't know why I'm telling you that, but you're the closest
here's
I got. So,
It starts with Mikey Varas. And if you've had a chance to listen to him speak, he has a skill, guys. I mean, he's, there's some Pete Carroll to him, and I mean that as a total compliment, in terms of he's able to communicate sort of their culture in a very clear way. And I think he's created an atmosphere where everybody's pulling together. It must be really hard to pull together a roster of guys from all over the world on an expansion team. And he's just been masterful. I mean, I think he's the coach of the year in the league just for what he's been able to do here.
Yeah, I don't see how you can argue that one. All right. Thanks, Ryan. Have fun in the playoffs and enjoy it. We appreciate your coverage, man. Thanks for everything you guys are doing.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Ryan Finley right there from the San Diego Union-Tribune. That Chucky thing is a little intriguing, I will say, that the Athletic brought up.
This is nothing.
But it also doesn't seem weird for soccer. These guys are diva-ish sometimes.
Don't we see this in all sports? I mean, maybe. Somebody gets taken out of the starting lineup, it's usually a problem, especially somebody who has had the kind of success a Chucky has. It's just how those type of athletes are cut. They just aren't going to be happy, especially when it's, halftime of a game. It might have been different if it was like in between games. Hey, we're not gonna start you this next game.
Hey, Chucky, get over it.
I agree.
That's my suggestion. We need you for the title.
Listen to you guys.
Get over it. Hours in, Gwynn and Chris. Hour number 2, Daily Gambit starts it.
San Diego isn't just a baseball team.
3 o'clock hour we go. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Skraby. The Daily Gambit coming your way here shortly. Not a lot going on like in real-time sports today. I think there's another game that's on ESPN today.
College football?
Little college football.
Yeah,
What we got today?
We'll be wagering heavy on that. Another conference U.S. action. Or Asian.
USA.
I watched that Kennesaw State game all the way through last night. Yeah, it was on here in studio, but I love the FIU uniforms. They look awesome.
They were pretty cool, little Miami Vice feel to it.
Yeah, but they lost big. So.
Was that their...
It's tough to wear those nice uniforms and then go out and
we don't know.
Thumped.
Was that their normal? Were they...
I don't think it's their normal. I can't tell you, but...
I will say I agree. It was a good look. Looked good.
How do you guys? We were talking about this off air in terms of the Tony Vitello hiring for the San Francisco Giants.
Right.
You and I and Skraby had accused both of us of thinking that this is going to work. I don't think either of us are saying it's going to work. I think we're both saying that we don't mind the risk he's taking because it's going to be intriguing to see unfold. If it ends up working, you bet your bottom dollar there's going to be Major
College
League
baseball
team.
coaches leaving
This is going
immediately.
This is 1,000% going to start something. And so I think for that reason, it is kind of intriguing. And now if it blows up, you'll have the section of folks that be like, I told you so. This should have never been something you did. But I commend Buster Posey for doing something that I don't think anybody else would do.
Outside the box type of thing. I don't know. Is it 100% out the box? It certainly is in recent times. I thought, and I'm gonna have to look it up, and I should have done it earlier, but I thought there was a college coach, like I want to say Texas or Florida State or something, that they gave a look-see at the major league level.
Was it Augie at the
something
time?
like an Augie, but Augie Garridos, who Tony's thinking. I don't think it was him though. I'm not thinking. Anyway,
I know. Listen,
I thought somebody got a shot. It didn't go great.
Pat is the closest to it.
Pat
Murphy.
being Arizona State,
yes, but he had been out of college baseball for a few years and in the professional realm for a few years at that point. I don't know that it has happened.
It may be the only one
has been picked straight from college.
In fact, they're saying it is an unprecedented move.
Okay.
Yes,
I can't remember one
in terms of out of what you said, Tony, being taken from your college job right to Major League Baseball. Here's the unfortunate thing for Vitello, through no fault of his phone, my long lost relative. How he does is going to be like you just said.
Yeah.
It's going to basically determine the fate of so many people, and that's not fair.
We could already kind of color how it's going to go if it goes this way. If it goes well, I'm sure we'll get an athletic article kind of highlighting all of the strengths that he brought from college.
Big gamble.
Right. If it doesn't go well, there will be about 15 sources out of the Giants organization that will tell us why it was doomed from the beginning.
Yeah, and
Something
I think that's unfair. I think right now, we should be on record, and based on what I've seen and what we're saying, I like this.
I do.
And if it doesn't work, then I still liked it.
I do. I like the attempt.
Yes, I don't think it's fair to have to wait for a result to determine whether this is
I agree.
kind of a nifty move.
I agree.
So I think you give the credit where it's due.
Cart before horse.
All right, so you're not with it, Scrape.
I don't know why, but I just have this
He's
feeling.
going to fail.
I just have this feeling that this
Does
is
it have
not going to
anything
work
to do
out.
with the fact that Braden Soprenant's brother went to Tennessee and you're projecting?
No, I have no
dislike
issues
there
with fellow
on-
Matt Soprenant.
Nothing on Matt?
No,
Okay.
I got no issues
All right.
with Matt Soprenant.
I just say if you're out there, Matt, I asked for you.
Yeah.
I'm looking out for you.
I think that this, for some reason, and I know it's not like this, but it screams Jace Tingler to me. It screams, I need my guy. I'm going to try to outthink the room.
I don't agree.
Because the reason I know it's not true, because he's had success at the college level.
But I disagree with you 100%. I think this is a guy that is probably he's young. First of all, the first time I saw Tennessee play a baseball game last year when they were making their World Series run and they showed this guy in the dugout, I'm like, What are they showing the water boy for? Like, I couldn't believe he was the manager
because he was so young.
He's just a young-looking guy.
Yeah.
And so he's probably, years ahead of where a lot of guys his age are. So I think it's a bold move that I like. This guy's got something special, apparently, to be able to lead his college team to a World Series. Most college baseball winning World Series manager or coach of managers have been there for 20, 30, 40 years.
That's right.
He's did it like as a 10-year-old. Not really. You know what I mean? It's just a different deal. Young guy. So I think there's something with this guy.
No, if he's a 10-year-old, you should definitely
then
hire
you
him.
stay away from
We got
him.
a problem.
You got to hire him because he's a
The
genius.
one I did look up some older hires.
He's 47, by the way.
He does, but he really does look 27. I looked up some other hires. The Yankees back in 1980, way back when, hired a guy named Dick Hauser, who'd been the Florida State coach for years, but didn't bring him right in. But he had been at Florida State. And Hauser did win a World Series. If it wasn't with the Yankees, he might have won with Kansas City. Hauser had a little success, but the pickings are slim in terms of college coaches to the majors.
I will say this, though. I think, Tony, what he predicted on our YouTube last week, Gwynn and Chris, is that there is now a trend, I think, where managers are going to be younger. You're not going to see the Snickers, the Bochy's. You're not going to see those guys get these jobs anymore because I hate to say it this way, but it seems like it's a young man's game now.
No, I just think the attrition over time, and all those guys have so many mouths on them already.
That's true.
Like the scrutiny, all
Look
that
at what happened. Look, Mike Schultz, 59. He's a young man. He was worn out.
Right. All that comes with being a manager, especially in a place that is a pressure cooker. I mean, San Francisco falls into that kind of category. And so, I don't think we're going to continue to see guys stay in it as long as we have in the past, for sure. Real quick, before we got to go. Let's get to the Daily Gambit. No.
Okay.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Speaking of managers, we got to talk about Kurt Suzuki at some point. Maybe in the Big Five, maybe. But he was hired by the Angels.
He got that good old-fashioned one-year
deal.
managerial deal.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Is that, who gets that other than him?
I've never heard of it.
We'll
I don't know if this is true or not, but Zen on YouTube is saying reports that Tingler could be Vitoli's bench coach, which
all right.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I think
that would be a disaster. I'm
Here
sorry.
we go.
That would be an absolute disaster. All right. The
I
bets
heard
that we made.
Vitello is his name, by the way.
Oh,
Don't mess up his last name. It's important. Vitello, I heard, wants to bring
it was reported.
Yeah. Oh. Well, Vitello also wants to bring in Ramon Martinez as his pitching coach.
Okay.
I'm hearing rumors of that.
Okay. Let's go to our bets from last night. We started with the NBA. OKC -6.5 on the spread against Houston. All three of us said Houston. KD definitely took a timeout and they didn't call it. Chet Holmgren
Had to get that in there,
loses his mind because he's like, he called timeout. That would be infuriating. But OKC ended up winning this game. They didn't win by enough to cover the spread, 125-124, so we win. Now, Warriors -2.5 over the Lakers. You guys went Lakers. I went Warriors. Warriors win by 10, 119-109. Over under total score of 226.5 in that Warriors-Lakers game. All of us went over.
No, we went under.
We went under, and it was over by 1.5 points, 228.
Yeah, those are close. It's amazing.
It was that three that Steph made at the end.
Stupid Steph.
Well, we'll get to Steph in a second. Who had more points?
Steph is so good.
SGA or Luka Doncic. SGA had a spread of -1 too. So Chris went SGA. Tony and I went Luka. Luka had 43 last night. SGA had 35 minus that one. He had 34. So Tony and I win
Luka
that
had
one.
43 and 12 assists.
We're gonna get to that.
So
because we have a bet on
what
that.
I'm saying is that he was responsible for far more than half their points. Yeah.
Steph Curry over under 4.5 made threes last night. Chris was the only one to go under. He only made 3. Then Luka over under 47.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. He went 43, 12, and 9, which is a combined 64. All of us went over.
Easy money.
I didn't get your guys' Kennesaw State bets. They were -3. I picked the Owls. I'm not sure where you guys went.
We both went the other way.
We went Kennesaw, I think.
You went Kennesaw?
No, we went the other way.
Sorry, we did. Yeah, I wrote it down.
Oh,
FIU.
Kennesaw won 45-26.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then finally,
He said nope. Sorry.
which NHL team scored more in their game last night? The Ducks at Nashville or the Kings at St. Louis? Chris and I went Kings. Tony went Ducks. Ducks scored 5. Kings needed overtime to score 2.
Here's the thing. If Tony picks the Kings, they lose. If he picks against them, they lose.
Right.
It's just no matter what the Kings bet is, they don't win the bet.
I got to read this. Football Talk, 97.3 The Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
All right, we'll have some picks when we come back here. I think we're already up against the clock.
Hey, give me a second to move some things around.
So we'll get into some matches.
Let me know when you're ready, Scrape.
Traffic isn't ready yet, so
That's
we'll
all
have
right.
that at the end of the commercial break. How about that? Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let's get the break on the other side. Sports, the finish of our
Gambit
and some sports court. Hey, Padre fans, if your days are 19th, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Skraby. Chris, your camera's on me now for some reason.
We're
I got
give
two
people a double angle.
Skraby, you were going off about something in the break, and I wanted to correct you on it.
Oh, Vitello? Was it
so.
Chris when Chris swore at me in the break because I asked him
Do you want
about
me to
his
swear
one
at you
misread?
not in the break?
No,
I'd be happy to.
I was doing a nice little video for our YouTube.
Oh, please. You stuck a camera in my face hoping to get a reaction.
I was
So I gave you what you wanted.
I did not want that, but I will post that video later.
I think you did.
I will post that video later.
We have to finish our daily gambit.
I
Let's get
have
to
to
our
bleep
bets.
it first. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get to the daily gambit or finishing of the daily.
Yeah. All right. We'll get to our picks here. I think something we can talk about though with Vitello is we do know his contract now, and you talked about Kurt Suzuki doing a 1-year contract. Vitello sounds like he's got a little better deal than Kurt Suzuki took, but. Get into that. All right, NBA, first game on the board tonight. It's on paper, a really good one. Everything I've read says either Cleveland or the Knicks are going to win the East this year. And they play each other tonight in New York. First game, Cleveland is a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Tony Gwynn Jr. with 10 points so far this week.
Cleveland, please.
Cleveland on the road, all right. This is the Mike Brown debut. Skraby?
I would just like to point out, I am irresponsibly betting because I know nothing about
NBA.
Nobody knows
anything
yet. You know nothing about the NBA.
Haven't played a game yet.
It's okay.
I know that Steph Curry's in the league. I'll go with Tony. I'll go Cleveland.
Okay. I'll make it interesting. Mike Brown against his former team, right?
Oh,
Did he coach Cleveland? I'll try the Knicks at home. All right.
His first coaching gig, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get the Bulls in there. Check in on the Bulls, opener. They're home to Detroit. I thought Detroit had a great year last year.
Yeah.
And they're 2.5-point favorites on the road. Detroit is at Chicago. Scraby here. We know the Bulls are what they are. They're still
I know.
the
I was
same.
going to say, I don't know much about the NBA, but Chris tells me the Bulls are awful. So.
Nah, I don't say that. They're mediocre, though. They're below average.
Tony, would you agree that Chris is really hard on his teams? Like, they're not as bad as he says he is.
Can we go through my teams right now? The Dolphins are the worst team in football.
I don't think
the
so.
The Blackhawks have been the worst team in hockey the last 3 years. My wife and I follow the Rockies on the side. That's the worst team in the history of baseball. And what teams would you like me to say good about?
You do have some. San Diego State is like your only love right now at this point.
So I don't know
gonna
what
go
you'd
with
like me to say good.
Pistons.
You are going to go with the Pistons. It's probably the smart money, but I'll try to show some faith in the Bulls on opening night, even though Colby White's not playing, and he's really their best weapon. So I think bettors ought to be aware of that anyway. Tony? Pistons, yeah. Clippers start their campaign tonight. 9.5-point favorite, which is quite a bit. At Utah.
It's a deep squad.
Utah, which missed out on the number 1 pick. I don't know anyone on Utah.
No. Oh, they got the DJ kid. Oh no, excuse me. They have the
Rayburn.
One, no, it's not Rayburn.
DJ Rayburn. Yeah,
the kid that everybody was giving a lot of
flack to.
Yes,
because of his girlfriend.
No, he didn't work out for anybody. And
Amen.
No, Amen is with the Rockets.
I'm looking at their roster and I couldn't tell you who it is because I just don't
I'm gonna pull up his
recognize
roster.
any of these names.
You guys keep going. I'm gonna
recognize some of these names.
I'm gonna pull up that roster.
Let's see.
Ace Bailey.
Ace Bailey
out of Rutgers. He's 19 years old.
Hey, that kid can play.
6'9". I'm gonna take Utah. To get 9.5 at home. They're gonna get blown out. But what the hell?
Who are they playing?
Clippers.
Yeah,
Clippers are favored. Who do you want? Tony?
Clippers.
Clips. It's great.
I'll go Clip Show.
Nobody taking a chance, taking a flyer on the Jazz along with me there. All right, back to the Knicks Cleveland game. Donovan Mitchell. Never seen anybody else do that.
I've never seen anyone ever do that.
Yeah, that's a great moment in Donovan Mitchell history, and that's when he was with the Jazz, by the way. 2 points. He's favored by 2 points to score more than Jalen Brunson. Tony. That's a tough one. Either of these guys is capable of going off.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's.
You got. It's a tough one.
I'm going to go with Donovan.
Mitchell. I am also going to go with Mitchell. He's on the road. I feel he has to assert himself a little more. Skraby?
I'll be a contrarian.
All right.
Brunson.
Not the world's worst time to be a contrarian. All right. This is the top points plus rebounds plus assists guy in the league tonight in terms of his odds. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Still playing at a high level. The freak, Greek freak. 51.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Skraby. It's a lot. They're playing the Wizards, though, who are recognized as one of the worst teams in the league.
Not a lot. So Kyle Kuzma's still wearing that
He's
6XL
no
sweatshirt.
He's
He's
out
a
of
buck,
there.
actually.
He's
Really?
playing
He's
against
a
the
buck.
Wizards tonight.
Yes.
Oh, man. Wizards have no chance now. I'm going to go with over.
Over. All right. I'm going to just on merit say under because it's just so many. But he might do it.
It's very well possible against this squad. I'll go the over as well.
He's going over. All right. I'm looking at the Wizards roster right now.
George Mears on there?
Yeah, no kidding. Wes Unseld. CJ McCollum still there, 34 years old. Chris Middleton also.
Still there. He just got there.
Oh, well, why did they send him to purgatory at this time of his career?
Is it one of those, like, I just want to keep playing and this team will give me that opportunity?
Well, they certainly will. All right, college football tonight, Conference US action or something. Delaware back on the crosshairs tonight, guys. The Blue Hens are home to the Blue Raiders.
Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee. You got the Blue Hens and the Blue Raiders. The Blue Hens are 1-2 conference, 3-3 overall. The Blue Raiders are 0-2, 1-5. Delaware, as a result, is a 9.5-point favorite.
All right.
I've been struggling on these middle week games. But Middle Tennessee doesn't sound
What
like
type of shun is this?
Conference US action.
Action. Okay.
Delaware is my pick, but I'm not feeling in the honor of Joe Flacco here. Tony. And I can't give you Middle Tennessee.
Give me Delaware.
Contrarian once again.
I am going to go with Middle Tennessee because a Raider would beat a hen any day.
They're both blue, so there you go. The Blues cancel each other out.
I think the blue part might bring the Raider down a little bit.
And might bring the hen up. I mean, have you ever seen a blue hen? I've never seen one.
Certainly haven't seen a blue Raider. No. I've seen a few black and silver ones, but I have not seen a blue one.
Well, anyway, that hen's going down.
All right, this is the biggest match of the night in terms of San Diego sports fans. It's Portland, it's Real Salt Lake for the right to go on and meet SDFC in the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs. This is just a pick 'em. It's not. Portland is actually favored here, but I don't have a spread in the soccer match, so you're just picking straight up, Tony. Is Portland going to advance, or is Real Salt Lake going to advance?
I'm going Real Salt Lake based off of that performance I last saw to Portland.
Portland looked pretty bad the other day, didn't they? No kidding. How can they be favored after they just
lifeless?
They lost 4-0 in a soccer match. Hopefully that just means SDFC was that good. Skraby, who are you going with?
I'll go with Portland.
All right. I almost said something about Portland, but I didn't.
Good for you,
deserve credit.
Chris. Good for you.
I was going to go with Portland, but Tony just kind of switched me up. I mean, they got crushed.
I finished paying for my new subscription, and I watched, and it was like they were having a kick around, basically.
All right. I'll go with Real Salt Lake under those circumstances. I got the Utah Jazz Real Salt Lake City double going tonight. So a big fan there of that. All right, there's our daily gambit. By the way, after going 9-0 yesterday,
welcome back to earth.
3-5. So, but that also shows how surprisingly crazy the 9-0 was.
Yeah,
that's what I think anyway. All right, where are we going? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Don't do anything. Don't push any buttons, Skraby.
I'm not.
This hour is brought to you by Toyota Poway.
Dang it! not to Toyota Poway, to Chris actually remembering.
And they are voting. I'm going to take my time on this.
Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Sweet time, Scrab. You're going to just tough it out over there. Toyota Poway. Let me tell you a little bit about these people. They're voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer. Not just by anybody either. Voted that by USA Today. That's right. Toyota Poway. It's such a good note that they wrote it twice. Toyota Poway has been voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today. They got APRs as low as 0%. Can't go any lower.
No, you can't.
They got tons of new Toyotas on the ground. No tricks, only treats. During the Trucktober sales event. It's happening now only at Toyota of Poway or online at toyotapoway.com in the heart of San Diego. I love this. They said they have tons of Toyotas. I'm assuming that is accurate, that if you weighed all the cars, they have tons.
Yes.
I bring this up because I'm bringing this up because there was an old movie, not a bad one either, Scrape. You might check it out, called Used Cars.
He doesn't think anything's bad.
Yeah, it's a little older. It's called Used Cars. You know, Kurt Russell, he's the guy. And he has a competing car lot with the guy across the way who's his brother. Kurt Russell plays both roles.
Oh, okay.
Of both used car lots. And Kurt Russell's lot advertises that they have a mile of cars. And in order to keep the whole thing going at the very end, they have to prove that the cars from end to end to end
is a mile.
Actually stretch a mile. So I'm making sure that Toyota's cars weigh tons as they're claiming. Scraby, take us to break, and
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
Hold up. Let me get myself right.
Hang on. My camera's trying to get focused on you again.
Indeed. We have ourselves a sports court coming up.
Yeah, how could you tell?
And so, I didn't have my wig on, so they might not have known.
Oh,
at
you
first.
didn't? Yeah, I do.
And
it already itches.
Yeah, no.
So hurry up and get this over with, Skraby.
Real quick, before we get to that, all guests on 97.3 The Fan, join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their futures when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Skraby.
We'll have to do traffic in the middle.
No traffic.
But we have an open.
Boom.
It's now time for Gwynn and Chris to rank their top 5.
I just did the countdown.
Yeah, you did. We can hear it.
Why did we can hear it? Why did I do the countdown? Hold on, that was a big mistake.
I guess you got an idea.
Oh no.
And I like this.
Oh, he's gonna count how many times I make a mistake. We've already done it, Chris.
Times I miss a commercial. I'm going to start counting how many mistakes you make. I promise I'll stop when I get to double figures each day.
We have to agree on the mistake and see if it actually is a mistake, but I don't have any problems with that. Here's the right one.
Do you have a sports issue, San Diego? Do you need a third party to make a decision? The guys have put on their robes and picked up their gavels.
All rise. Here comes the judge.
Gwynn and Chris Sports Court starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Gonzo says Ello looks like the lady at the farmer's market exchanging her book for couscous.
Yes.
What happened to your wig?
Do I have it on backwards?
I
Probably.
think you might have it up.
You look like Beethoven or Mozart or something. It's weird. That is, it's all in your eyes too. This is hilarious.
It's staying.
This is hilarious.
So that's too bad if you don't like it. By the way,
like
speaking of Skraby,
dried up Jerry curl.
Speaking of Skraby's mistakes, Tony, you and I mentioned this yesterday off the air.
Oh,
we got to bring the Scroobies back.
Do you guys remember
an all-time
the
classic moment in show history?
We had a moment yesterday before the show where Skraby mentioned something about
the COVID era, yeah,
and it just instantly threw Chris and I back into the frame of mind we had to be in to come up with some of the crap we came up with to get through those days.
Yeah, the Scroobies
was one of them.
We used to take his best screw-ups of the week, and believe me, this was a lengthy segment.
Did we play that every Friday?
Every Friday.
Yeah, every Friday for a while. Then I just got so
out.
good, I couldn't.
Oh, that's right. You kind of cleaned it up, right?
So that it just dried up on its own.
Right.
It did. I learned from it. I moved forward.
Yeah,
so you guys were like, "Man, we can't do the Scroobies anymore. You're too perfect."
That's exactly how I remember it going away.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah,
thank you. That was a good story, though. All right, let's get into our first one. We got some interesting.
Can
ones
I get the
today.
gavel today? You had the gavel last week.
If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiros for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. All right, this first one is tame compared to the last one. It's been like
kind of scared.
Sorry, this is actually someone who told me this over the weekend. The other two are from Reddit. It's been like 10 years since the Chargers left, and I'm still getting crap for liking my Chargers. I understand people have been hurt by them, but I didn't hurt them. So me wearing my Chargers jersey does not make me the enemy. I've tried to be nice and diffuse the situation, but I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Chris, you're up first. When people come at me for being a Charger fan, do I have the right to be as rude to them as they are to me?
Order. Sorry.
Well, I love when people behave rude, but I think so. Here's the thing with being a fan of a team. I don't think you can necessarily help it.
I agree with that.
I mean, if you have a team in your heart and that's your team and them moving didn't change that feeling, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Even though, mentally or, on the surface, a lot of us say, well, we can't root for the Chargers because of the way they treated us. I mean, that's just not the way it goes sometimes. So I think you have every right to continue to be a Charger fan. But I would try to rise above other people's rudeness and just, Move past it. Two wrongs don't make a right.
They go low, go
Right.
high.
Go high.
Don't go to hell.
There you go.
So you're saying, Tony, don't be as rude?
I'm not saying that. I think that's what Chris is saying. Listen, I think the anger initially was understandable. How many years has it been now?
They said 10. I'm gonna go look, but I don't believe it's quite been 10.
It's been almost 10.
I'll look. Go ahead.
I think you should be allowed to be whatever fan you want. As I think Chris kind of explained it perfectly. If that move didn't change,
2016 was the last season here.
Okay, so we're coming up on
10
years. Yeah. If that move didn't change inside of you,
and they're playing in a game and you're rooting for them, and you just see that you're rooting,
right?
You're a fan.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure that has affected people in many different ways. Like, I still root for the Chargers. I don't go hard in the paint like I used to, but I still root for them. But yeah, man, I think, as Chris eloquently said, rise above, but sometimes you gotta let them know.
Let them know what's what.
Yeah, I think sometimes.
You have to hit him with a two-piece, Tony.
Don't hit him with a two-piece. We don't want to make this physical. We don't make this physical. But I think sometimes you gotta let them know. I'm not saying you need to do that all the time, but you take your lumps, and then sometimes that random person is just got to be. You got to let them have it.
I'm not good at. I'm the guy who comes up with an amazing comeback when I'm like in the shower 2 days later to a situation that I had.
After you ran over it like a shower.
It's usually always in the shower.
Kind of like I can't help but root for the Dolphins. I can't help but think of you naked when you say that.
Oh,
so
I can't.
Please don't.
I'm gonna not do that.
I wear a bathing suit. I wear a bathing suit in the shower. But sometimes I wish I had comebacks, because I would love to have a great comeback here, but I do think that the best way to go about this is just not move, but like
move on
from the situation. Yes. No, not move. All right. Here is one.
Now
from
we're getting
Reddit.
into the Reddits.
Yes.
Oh man.
I need some advice on something my wife did. She's not into sports, but I am a huge Seattle Mariners fan. She came to me and asked if I would help her grandma move some heavy furniture out of the house. Normally, I would just say yes, but it was ALDS Game 5 between the Mariners and the Tigers. I asked if we could move days, but that wasn't an option. She said she would make sure the game was on the radio and TV as the moving was happening, and we would come right home after to watch the rest. I put my foot down and I said no. She has brothers that could help, but they're actually lazy, so that's why she doesn't call them. I was not going to move during an elimination game. That led to 2 nights in the guest room.
Yes, it
and
did.
An icy cold household.
2 nights is all, huh?
I fear.
I can't even call it the guest room anymore.
It's your room.
Basically my bedroom.
I fear the only way to get things back to normal would be to admit I was wrong. The problem is, I was not wrong.
Oh, this sounds...
Tony,
is this you writing this?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the question, but then we're going to do traffic, and you're going to answer after traffic. Should I tell my wife I was wrong, or do I continue to fight for my sports watching right? Traffic, then Tony's answer.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring Water. Just a few problems to mention here. A collision on southbound 163 before Friars Road. Transit bus and car involved. They're over to the right shoulder. Also a collision on southbound 5 past the 15. Tow trucks on scene. Everything is in the center divide. You can find a stalled vehicle on the Grossmont Boulevard off-ramp. Northbound 125. It's over to the right shoulder. And got a stall blocking the left lane of the Nordall Road off-ramp of westbound 78. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
We've already got some wild responses to this on the chat, but
sure.
Tony's up right now. Should this guy tell his wife he was in the wrong, or does he continue to fight for his sports watching right?
Sir, this is a pretty easy one. If you enjoy the cold chilliness of your household, keep on down that line of you were right, she was wrong, keeping your foot down. However, if you would like to
you
have
want the comfort of a dog nuzzled up against you in the real bed,
I would suggest admitting you were wrong and doing, a few extras to kind of get back in the good graces of your wife, because I think you have to look at this from the standpoint of you basically was like, man, forget your mom. She can figure it out on her own.
It's elimination game, bro.
Hey, listen, I think the accommodation of radio and TV on as you kind of moving stuff. Listen, you can stop. Like, hold up, we'll move it after this pitch right here, and then you can keep it moving.
But what if Jorge Polanco is 10, 12 pitch battle and they need that thing in the moving truck?
You'll get to see it the moment you come back in from the moving truck. You can hit the rewind button. You can see the replays as they're happening. You're there. You're in it.
What if I hear the neighborhood go crazy and I'm out of it?
You
and I
can
don't
run
know.
back in. Listen, I'm just saying, brother, this was one day. You could be ruining a whole lot more days if you don't eventually say that you were wrong on this one.
All right, Chris, should he tell his wife he was wrong, or does he continue to fight for his sports watching right?
If you enjoy being alone on that couch, have at it. But if you'd like some comfort from your wife, I would say that you go ahead and apologize there, buddy.
Well, I have three things.
Three?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
They're quick. Number one, my ruling is that you are right. She should respect your love of the Mariners.
Right.
This is your ruling.
Your love of the Mariners. It's not my ruling.
Okay.
I'm giving them my dissertation.
Okay. Yeah. The build
you are
up to
correct. She should respect your desire here.
Yeah.
A normal Mariner game, absolutely not. But an elimination game, she should understand that a whole season has come down to one game. You should have the right to watch that on your terms. So I blame your wife for some of this. Secondly, I've been married 36 years. Today's the anniversary.
Today.
Thirdly, I think the reason I made it this long is because I discovered the DVR and I tape games that I want to see so that I can participate in all of the things she would like me to do.
Yeah.
And it's a happy wife, happy life situation. Take that for what it's worth.
I must say,
and combine it with Tony's answer, and you'll get where you need to go.
I must say that there was a time where, even though I had DVR, I was insisting on watching things live,
right?
And it only made my life
makes it worse. Yeah.
Once I succumbed to, hey, you know what? You can watch the whole thing. It'll just be later.
The only trick, and I've gotten really good at it, is not hearing the score.
Yep. Stay off your phone a little while. Turn off your notifications.
And,
all
you
that.
can do it.
Yeah,
you can do it. It can be done.
It seems like a few extra steps, and maybe it is. But
it's better than sleeping in the guest room. I think.
I think it's completely rude of.
Yeah,
this
well, I
wife.
know what you think.
I mean,
we don't need your.
Dominic said it in the chat.
Here.
Dominic said it in the chat. If she knew this was important to you, she would have never asked in the first place.
I opened my. I opened my saying.
Is he single too?
I think so. I know he has a daughter. I believe I'm not going to answer for him, Dominic. You can tell me in the chat.
I'm just saying. How's Brooke feel about this?
She would never, because she's a sports fan.
She'd want to watch the game.
Yeah, she would be.
That's another way around this.
Yeah,
marry somebody or be with somebody who loves sports as much as more than you do.
Until she doesn't. Until there's something that needs to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
That. We'll see, buddy.
All right, we need to get this.
I have a feeling as this relationship over here goes along and this segment goes along, we're going to just have more personal Skraby things coming up.
Oh, yeah. All right, if you got kids in the car, I'm going to try my best to do this radio friendly, but this one is insane.
Oh, man.
We may even have to go to the break. I'm the manager of a co-ed softball team, and I have never had this happen to me before as a manager of a team. We played the other night, and after the game, a few of the women from the team all headed towards the bathroom. While in the bathroom, they heard something outside the back vents that sounded like footsteps or someone in the bushes. The vents aren't open, but if you angle it the right way, you can see into the bathroom. Creeped out, they went to see if there was anything back there, and they saw a man from the back, and it looked like
you've already told me enough.
It looked like that he was doing something
Don't say anymore. He was looking at the women in the bathroom.
No, I think he was doing more than that too. That man who was caught behind the bathroom was the husband of one of the other girls on the team. And she was not a part of this group. They did not approach him because it was a bad situation, but they came to me and said they are done playing if he is allowed to continue with the team. I believe them. I don't think they're lying, but I didn't see it. And quite frankly, I'm struggling with the idea of confronting this dude about this. What if he was just using the bathroom? They didn't actually see the action was happening, but they were convinced of what it was. So, Chris, does this person need to confront this dude about the situation?
No. He needs to just kick the guy and the girl off the team, and he doesn't have to have an explanation.
Just say you're gone?
Yep.
What okay, why? What did I do?
Doesn't matter. We got an issue. I'm the coach. We got an issue. I once got fired. One of my first jobs, I was a delivery guy for a liquor store. I only had that job for 2 days. One of the days I was there, somebody, not me, ate a sandwich and left it in the freezer, one of the employees. I was the newest person. I was told by one of my other coworkers that when you come in the next time, they're going to fire you for doing that. And I was like, well, I didn't do it. And they go, probably not going to matter. I walked in. I knew it was going to happen. And that's what the guy said. He goes, you're the newest guy. We had an issue. I'm not going to, you're fired. We're not going there with this. That was it. Stay with it, pal. You don't have to tell him. I think it's too uncomfortable.
I mean,
there is no way the person is going to admit to it. So why tell him what you think he did?
Tony's going to have to wait till after the break. Well, this is a wild one, though.
I just think, we've had some complaints. I can't tell you what it's about. Sorry. Probably going to bust up our friendship for the rest of time. But we can't have you and your wife on this team anymore. It's best for what we're doing going forward. If somebody has a better answer,
we'll see what Tony has to say on the other side.
We'll hear it.
We'll see what he has to say on the other side. Also, Chris versus the fans. Get in line. 833-288-0973. Your chance to see Jerry Seinfeld in Las Vegas.
this situation. Let's just leave it at that. Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan. We just had our sports court. We did not quite finish it yet because we need to hear Tony's ruling on it. If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's Authentic Mediterranean Cuisine. It's in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining, takeout options, that's spiroscuisine.com, and I believe Tony should have read that. It should be a point against him, but I'm sure Skraby will find a way to score it against me.
No, it's actually a point against you because I already read it.
Okay, I get a point against you. Whatever you want to do.
He's going that route. Whatever you want to do.
Order!
Sorry, sir.
We got the Chris vs. the Fans coming up, 833-288-0973. Skraby, return us to the courtroom.
All right, Tony's going to give his ruling about whether or not a co-ed softball team manager has to approach and discuss a very difficult issue with one of the guys on the team. Mainly, he was caught. He was allegedly caught looking through bathroom windows doing something.
So, can I just go over some of this
unsavory.
evidence with you before I come to my ruling?
Sure.
Plaintiff or defendant, whatever one you are. So there was no actual eyewitness of him peeking into the window. They just heard
the post. They just heard movement in the bushes behind.
Was there not a men's bathroom around? Do we know?
I don't know that, but I'm assuming it's one of those.
Right, that's what I'm assuming.
Where they have a guy and a girl on the other side.
And this isn't like this wasn't a lot of traffic where there was a bunch of people and maybe the bathroom.
Not. I mean, I don't think you do what this guy did with a bunch of people walking around.
Well, I'm saying if you have to relieve yourself.
Did what he's accused of doing. Did they ever see him in any way, shape, or form? When did they see him?
They came around let me get the thing back.
Pull it back up, please.
Okay, creeped out. They went to see if there's anything back there, and they saw a man from the back, and it looked like he was doing something to himself, if you know what I mean. That man was the husband of one of the other girls on the team, and she was not a part of this group. They did not approach him because it was a bad situation.
He didn't see them.
He did not see them. Yes, correct.
Got it. But they saw him.
They
just saw him.
They saw him and ran away.
They saw him creepily standing behind the bathroom, looking through. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, every way you slice this guy's a creepo. But the question is, this softball manager does not want to confront this guy about this, but members of the team are asking him to.
Yeah, they're all going to quit the team. They don't want this guy around anymore.
Yes, correct.
I think, because you have young ladies expressing their concern and, quite frankly, willing to quit if he remains on the team. I think you do have to go approach it by letting the wife know that you guys have been dismissed. And if indeed there are questions why, I think he should say, this is what I was told by your female teammates.
Actually say what he's accused of?
Yes.
How about another idea? How about if you want to know why you're being asked to leave this team, how about we bring you on in and you ask the group why it is you're leaving this team?
Wait, say that one more time.
He said like a firing squad.
So that he doesn't have to do it himself.
Oh, no. I get what you're saying.
I don't think so, because I think that they don't want to be a part of it.
They don't want them.
So
yeah.
Forcing them to be the ones to be like, well, we saw such and such.
Yeah, that causes maybe this guy gets mad and then goes after them.
I think it's although I think it's maybe a little unfair considering the information we have, I think that's the way you got to kind of.
So you would lay out what you were told, because
only if I was questioned, and I assume you would be, why we were being let go.
Because the first thing the guy is going to do, no matter what, is deny this, jumping up and down beyond belief. Even
I agree.
If you caught him red-handed, he's going to deny this because it's embarrassing. Along with being creepy, it's embarrassing.
I mean, I'm sure that's not going to make things good with him and his girlfriend.
Not going to help with that either. That's why I wouldn't give him any reason.
Well, that's why
he would know. He would know.
You don't need to do it that day. You can wait after that. Everybody goes their separate ways. A phone call can be made, and you could be asked, not to come back at that point.
There's so many ways I want to talk about this.
What do you want to do?
No, well, the chat is saying something.
What are they saying?
Contact him directly.
Right.
And say, hey, I was told something, and I'm asked to kick you off the team, so I'm going to have to do that. And if your wife wants to know, you need to tell her, or, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think you need to confront him at the facility. You can make that phone call especially if you're trying to avoid any extra drama.
Yeah, no, yeah. So Tony's ruling is
virtually the same.
Okay. All right.
Only difference was in my dissertation, I wrote that you should, if asked, you should explain what the reason was.
Well, then you're gonna have to explain it because he's gonna ask.
Yeah,
he's gonna ask.
Nobody's gonna accept it.
Yeah.
No, nobody's gonna accept
don't
it at face
guilty
value
people
unless you
just-
don't give him the chance to ask.
Doesn't he?
It doesn't matter what he says. He's already kicked off anyway. You just are letting him basically vent.
But I'm not gonna even give him the chance because I don't even want to hear his excuse.
Oh,
you have to give him a day in court.
I don't have to.
That guy that
I don't
fired you.
have to. I don't have to.
Chris, we all know you ate the sandwich.
Stuff it right back in the freezer.
All right.
We gotta go. Don't we? Gotta get to.
You know what? I got an idea. Why don't you film me during the break again? I'll tell you what I think of you.
Chris versus the fans right now. 833-288-0973.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. You can play right now against Chris if you would like, and you can get a qualification for a trip to Las Vegas. A trip for two to see Jerry Seinfeld in Las Vegas, including 2 tickets to the show on April 17th at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace, a 2-night stay at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and a $100 gas card. Jerry Seinfeld returns to the Coliseum at Caesars Palace on April 17th and 18th. See Ticketmaster.com for tickets. The rules: you have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you are eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question, or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into the first question, because you'll get that one for free today, and you'll start on question number 2. All right, let's get to our first contestant. I'm going to go with the longest holding person here, Mike.
What up, Mike? Happy Hump Day.
Yo, first time player.
First time player.
Thanks, Chris.
Way to participate.
I'm just feeling my shame here, sandwich eater.
I got fired from a grocery store, Chris, because they accused me of stealing a bottle cap. Okay?
Did you eat a bottle cap? Did you steal a bottle cap? You did.
I'll tell you about it later.
Quick. All right, we jump right into question number 2. Which current Blue Jay was also a Mariner and a Padre?
You got your mic?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Not jumping off the page.
Go ahead. Pass it to Chris.
Okay. All right. Stay right there.
Current Padre that is now Blue Jay.
No. Read the
current Blue Jay that was once a Padre
and a Mariner.
The only current Padre that I know of on the Blue Jays is our old friend Eric Lauer, but I don't remember if he was a Mariner. That's my only guess. Eric Lauer.
You didn't listen to the question.
Oh, I guess not.
No. The answer is Ty France.
Yes.
Okay.
Its current Blue Jay was also a Mariner and a Padre.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Okay.
But Eric Lauer was a Padre, so I did hear the question. I just got it wrong. Right?
Oh, okay.
Eric Lauer was a Padre.
Yeah.
Okay.
You kept saying current Padre, and it was confusing me. But you are right. I will give you that.
Question number 3.
After all
that is done.
Who is the first NFL QB to win against all 32 teams?
Peyton Manning.
Peyton.
It's motivating Manning to you.
Let's listen to you.
I feel like Chris is angry with me. For
No,
this
he's
game
not.
or
I'm trying to
something.
think of the answer. Peyton Manning was a really good guess. It has to be somebody that's played for more than one team. Obviously, you have to beat the team you played on. Favre played on an awful lot of teams. I think this could be a lot of different guys. Aaron Rodgers? No. I'll stick with Favre.
Wow.
I almost got off it.
Money.
I almost changed it.
As a Viking over the Packers sealed his deal there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I almost got off it. Went somewhere else, but
Good job. Good job.
stayed.
The other answer I
Speaking
thought was
of-
going to be said Tom Brady.
Speaking of Sean Payton and what was that? Bounty Gate. He was Brett Favre was a victim of Bounty
He's one of the
Gate.
guys
Yep.
that had a bounty on him.
Yep. Him, Frank Gore, Michael Crabtree. Let's go to our next contestant. Gilberto.
Gilberto, welcome back, my friend.
Hola muchachos, ¿cómo están?
Muy bien, bien.
No.
Here we go. First,
Enjoying the postseason?
Enjoy.
listen to
I see
you,
what Gilberto just did.
Gilberto.
I see what he did.
I did too.
I am not enjoying the postseason, if
Here
you
we
want to know.
Here we go. First question.
You may see something that has never been done before.
What, the Dodgers buying
Get
another
swept?
championship?
Oh, stop. That's crazy.
Here we go. What cult? No, yes, we'll go with this one. What cult horror classic was filmed at a house in Carlsbad and is about ghosts? This seems like a tough number one. This seems like
This
a
is
really
a
tough
well-known
number one.
movie. Not sure.
For classic. I have no idea, but I'm gonna guess, just in case, Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. That's a good one. Not right.
Stay there,
but it was a
Gilberto.
good one.
He's going to be upset, though, because that's what I was going to guess.
Oh.
I did not know. So that is obviously not what I'm going to guess now. What is the question again? A cult?
What cult horror classic?
Cult horror classic.
Yes. Great Skraby wording here. Was
Yeah.
filmed at a house in Carlsbad and is about ghost.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the
Oh
Living.
no, that's not about ghosts though.
Ooh,
Well, I have to. I already
yeah,
said it.
He said it, I
already said
guess.
it.
Night of the Living Dead. That is incorrect.
This movie freaked me out.
Roberto, you move on. The answer, is Paranormal Activity.
Oh, I had no chance.
That was
never
it.
even heard
So-
of the movie.
So what?
Never heard of it.
Are you serious?
I've heard of it, but I've never
Serious.
seen it.
Certainly
It
not
is
much of a
the
I don't know
classic.
that it's a cult classic.
No, it definitely is a cult classic in the horror movie world.
Is it?
It is. It is.
What's it called?
Paranormal Activity.
This
It's one
feels
of
like
the...
one of your overations.
No. Chat. Tell me that you already
Tell
know
us.
this.
Is Paranormal Activity a cult classic? Feels like a bit of a stretch.
KG says you can't defer hauntings, Gilberto.
That was good. That was good. All right, we got to get to our next question. All right, Roberto. The Yankees have had the most MVPs wear their uniform. What team is second?
So it's widely considered a cult classic, Scrape, according to
Thank you.
these people, whoever this is.
Horror movies, lovescraby.com.
Yeah.
I gotta go with the Dodgers.
Oh, you let your love get you, huh? That is
Stay
incorrect.
there.
Second most MVPs?
Second most MVPs in the organization,
Yeah.
like that have wore their uniform.
I'm sorry I have to ask for clarification. Does this mean you won an MVP while playing with that team?
I'll read the question again.
Or did you win the MVP, but you're now in that organization?
No, the Yankees have had the most MVPs. It's a good. That's
So you're telling me that
Okay, here's the spirit of the
just-
question.
Give me the
Which
spirit of the
team has
question.
had the most MVPs?
Okay,
Perfect.
boom.
And it was the Yankees, and now I'm going for second place.
Yeah.
I'll try the Red Sox.
Red Sox. Right color, wrong team. It was the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
As number 2, Alberto, you slide to question number 3. Here we go.
2 great choices, Tony.
Two atrocious choices, by the way. Here we go. We're gonna go Halloween here.
Yes.
Okay.
What is the name of the alien creature in Alien? This is such a Skraby question.
Oh my God. I can remember. No, Chris, go ahead. I don't remember.
Stay there.
It might be a mistake.
It's not a mistake. I didn't like that movie at all.
Really?
No, and I didn't see any of the follow-ups. So I have no clue.
What was the
it came out of the
young lady?
Came out of the poor girl's
Sigourney Weaver.
stomach. I know that, and ran around.
It did. It
but
was
I don't know what
scary.
his name was.
It was definitely scary. That movie freaked me out.
Yeah, as a kid, I should never have watched that.
How about Harold? Harold the Alien?
I would have loved to have Harold the Alien. Oh, Hilberto, you win.
The
Stay
answer
right there.
was Xenomorph.
Xenomorph.
Good for you, Hilberto.
Alberto, hang on the line.
Hilberto, did he get any questions right?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. He leaned on you pretty heavily.
And
for this win.
I helped him out right on down the road.
You know what? There's only 9 more days until Halloween.
Yes,
so.
indeed. All right, we got to get to break. We are quite late. And Chris, this is you, buddy.
Okay, well, let's try to I don't know. There's probably a read that I'm not reading.
No,
right
you're
now.
good.
You're
You're
good.
good. You're good. I feel like he's
No,
taking
I mean,
it
it's more
further.
important than the show.
I feel like he's taking. Well, the reads are important, but
It's taking a turn.
All right. We have 90 minutes left in the show. That's time for at least 17, 18 more reads.
all right, traffic.
So don't miss it.
From the 855.
Toyota of Poway, voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today. So good they had to say it twice. Toyota of Poway has been voted San Diego #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today. With ARPs as low as 0% and tons of new Toyotas on the ground. No tricks or only treats during the Trucktober sale event happening now. Only at Toyota of Poway or online at toyotaofpoway.com, right in the heart of San Diego.
Did you guys notice during that break, you guys were blabbing on
you weren't
and on.
doing any. You were locked in over there.
I was locked in.
What
And
you
here's
locked in
why
about?
I was locked in.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I was locked in because I wanted to prove that Skraby's last trivia question was flat out incorrect.
I knew.
Which one?
I knew
The
it.
alien one?
No,
No, not that one.
The
Don't care about that one.
the MVPs.
The MVPs.
I knew it was. I could see it
Yeah,
working.
I know.
in
I
his
felt
head
like
as it-
something was happening too. But before you get on me, I'm not going to care because I got this from a reputable website that I get it from.
Yeah,
all
but
the
you
time.
always say that, and then you don't check anything. And this reputable website is wrong 90% of the time.
Oh, it's not the same website.
And here's where that last one
of the
was
many
wrong.
reputable ones he goes to.
Go back. Do you have the question still, or was
Yes,
it?
I still have the question.
Okay, please do the MVP question and say it so that
Oh,
we
you know what?
understand it.
It
I
got
did
erased.
delete it, but hold
Okay.
on. I
The
can
question
hold on.
was. The question was.
What team has had the most MVPs?
No.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Second.
Oh, it was.
It was a
Right.
second.
Who had the second?
Yes.
It said the Yankees have had the most MVPs.
Right.
Who was second?
It wasn't exactly worded that way, but that's what we came to the conclusion
Correct.
of what it was meaning.
Well, the Yankees have had 14 different MVPs.
Not what I'm seeing right here.
14. They have had Judge, A-Rod, Mattingly, Munson, Elston Howard, Mantle, Maris, Berra, Rizzuto, DiMaggio, and then some guys you don't know, Spud Chandler, Joe Gordon, two more guys you know, Gehrig and Ruth.
Those are all guys
Those are
that
the
won it
14
as a Yankee.
Yankees. The Cardinals have had Goldschmidt, Pujols, McGee, Keith Hernandez, Joe Torre, Bob Gibson, Cepeda, Ken Boyer, Musial, Morrison, Cooper, Medwick, Fritch, Bottomley, Rogers, Hornsby, and some guy named O'Farrell. 16 for the Cardinals. They are #1. The Yankees would have been the correct answer. They are #2.
Okay, from
Can
the
we,
website.
Can we go? Can you remember how
Just
the
trying to get-
question?
Are there
would-
multiple MVPs in there?
Sure, but that's not what the question.
No, but
The
the
question
question
was
counts
how
as
many-
two.
No, it doesn't. The question
counts
was
as two.
which team has had more MVPs?
Yeah,
Mickey Mantle's won it 3 times, but he's the same MVP.
That's 3 MVP awards.
Well, then you needed to. Then you
No,
needed to.
he's trying to
make
find
that-
a way.
How am I trying to find a way?
I
Learn how to
think
ask the question right.
I think the question was asked a little funny, but when we came to the conclusion that it was what team had the most MVPs? Basically. Second most.
Right.
I do think you would have to count somebody who has won it multiple times as multiple. Yeah.
All right.
Because what I'm getting
That's
is
your
that
ruling, is what you're saying.
hit
I
the
mean,
gavel.
If
Hit the gavel.
if it's on me, yeah. That's
All
all
right.
I'm saying.
It says the
Skraby was fine.
Yankees have a player, or they've won it 23 times. St. Louis has won it 21 times.
That's probably right.
If you're counting the
Multiple
right.
MVPs.
All right, so we got.
But
that
you know
settled.
what? The question was just such a garbage question that we could have never gotten that right. ever.
Didn't say it was garbage. I do think it's. Here's the reason I actually looked it up, because I was hoping the Red Sox were going to be the actual answer.
That would have
They
been
were
something.
But I do find it
appreciate your
interesting.
honesty.
I do find it interesting that you could probably win a bar bet if you ask somebody which team has had more different players win the MVP, the Yankees or the Cardinals, and the answer would actually be the Cardinals.
Right.
They've had more different guys. win it.
guys. Win.
Yeah.
Finally, people are always on me about the questions about how dumb they are.
But they're with you this time.
I got 3. 3 people that are supporting
That's
me.
more than you normally get.
I got K-Laws, Dominic, and Cole. Thank you.
Hey, listen, we settled it. All right, we got to get to break.
I don't really want to after that whole segment. Chris seems like he's angry at me.
Hey, that makes for a better show. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Got
You
90
got to be
minutes
mad.
left. How many more reads we got?
A couple.
Someone's got multi.
Coming up. Don't miss the
biggest
reads.
guests in San Diego.
guests in this segment. Doesn't matter. I got to tell you that any guests that we do have on the program, that's right. We open and close every segment now with reads, commercial reads. Place to go. Gwynn and Chris. All guests on 97.3 The Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys. Helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. I might be charged with a crime soon, Skraby, if you keep this up. Visit DavidPShapiroLaw.com.
I don't even know what that means.
This guy really is having trouble with these reads and having to read them.
Guess what, Tony?
Yes.
Oh, no.
That's not
Skraby
you.
gets
That's
to read
not you.
that one.
That's not you, buddy.
All right. Knicks are off to a good start against the Cavs. It's still the first quarter of the season opener to Eastern powers, as it were. Knicks 27, Cavs 18 first quarter. A couple of other games are underway in the association night number 2. And I think the biggest news of the day is the new Giant manager, Tony Vitello. The manager of the Tennessee Vols, no longer. Now the manager of the San Francisco Giants. And
that's crazy late to be trying to find a head coach.
That's what someone said in the
for
chat.
college baseball.
At this point, you just gonna have to turn to your internal staff.
Next guy, yeah. NFL news. There are a couple of quick items. Mike Evans goes on the IR. Karma. Buccaneers wide receiver. If you were with us yesterday, you know I said that. Jaden Daniels, Washington QB, will not start against the Chiefs.
No.
Hamstring? At least according to sources, hamstring.
Yeah, his hamstrings is catching these fast guys.
It's the second time I think he's had that already this year, so it's probably going to be lingering, as they say. All right, Skraby, give us the rest of the stuff after traffic in today's Big Five.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Toyota of Poway, voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today. Handful of problems here, guys. One of them is this crash on southbound 5 before SeaWorld Drive. It's in the clearing stage. Over to the right shoulder, south 163, right at the south 805 connector ramp. Collision involving a couple cars there over to the right shoulder. Up ahead before Friars Road, accident involving a car and a transit bus. That is over to the right shoulder. Also northbound side of the 805 before Adams Avenue. Collision involving couple cars there over the right shoulder, and we've got this stalled vehicle partially blocking the Nordall Road off-ramp of westbound 78. Toyota of Poway has been voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today with APRs as low as 0% and tons of new Toyotas on the ground. No tricks, only treats during the Trucktober sales event happening now only at Toyota of Poway or online at toyotaofpoway.com in the heart of San Diego. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Give me 1 second to do a little research for the people out there. Okay, I've been getting questions about the biggest fan, where you enter, all that stuff. I can't post the link right at the moment, but if you go to 973thefansd.com/biggest-fan, it will take you to that page. So that's pretty easy. 973fansd.com/biggest-fan. You'll be able to go right to that page.
Number 5.
And now we will get into some more managerial talk, because Kurt Suzuki's deal with the Angels to be their manager is only 1 year. Just 1 year. There's no options, just 1 year. Tony Vitello's deal with the Giants is 3 years. So we've been talking in the breaks. It seems weird to have a manager with a 1-year deal. But Chris, do you think this is a big deal, little deal, or no deal that he got a 1-year deal?
I think it's a little deal. because it's his circumstance. Maybe this is what he wanted. Maybe he didn't want to be connected to the Angels for too long. We're not sure who wanted this 1-year deal. I don't hate the fact that, at least in this particular one, Kurt Suzuki, maybe he's just betting on himself too. Maybe it was like, hey, we can give you 4 years, but we're only going to give you so-and-so. And he said, you know what? Give me 1 year. I'll show you how good I am. And then you'll, give me what I'm worth. Anyway, I do know you hate when I do this, but I know that Walter Alston, the Dodger manager for about 30 years before Tommy Lasorda, worked on a 1-year contract every year. But that's obviously a different time. And I do get the fact that Suzuki could be thought of as a bit of a lame duck even before he starts. So I think the Angels are going to have to come out and actually address this. Don't think you can just give him a 1 year and just try to let it sit.
Yes.
So that's my thing.
All right, Tony, what do you think about the 1-year deal? Big deal, little deal, or no deal?
Medium deal. I would assume, most.
That wasn't one of the choices.
It wasn't, yeah, Tony. Is it a big deal, little deal, or no deal?
Fine. Little deal. I think it's a little deal in part because we don't know why the 1-year deal. I think, Skraby, you talked about reports saying that they, maybe the pending lockout might be a reason
that was a reason
for why the 1-year deal. Maybe it is because Kurt is betting on himself, former Cal State Fullerton alum.
Yeah.
But, ultimately it's an opportunity. And listen, he can maybe do some big things in 1 year, which can kind of change everybody's perspective on what his future looks like.
He could work himself into a place where they're like, we have to have him back.
Right.
And we have to pay him. So.
I like it in that regard. I do. But I don't know exactly everything that went into this.
Yeah.
Cole says the lockout makes sense, but yeah, the lockout does make sense.
I also don't dislike the fact that, that is a good one. I don't dislike the fact he's a backup catcher. Those guys seem to make great managers.
Yeah, they do.
Exhibit A, Bruce Bochy.
And Bob Melvin.
Bob Melvin's pretty good.
Was Joe Torre a catcher?
Bob Brantley.
Yes,
was
but
a
he was
former catcher. He won a World Series.
Yeah. Joe Torre was a star, though. He won an MVP award.
Oh, wow.
So he was a pretty good player
was
back in the day. But he did do some catching.
All right.
Number 4.
Big Five is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
Dan
It
Wilson.
is probably pretty funny for somebody as yourself, Skraby, to hear that Joe Torre was an MVP caliber player. You just remember him as kind of a 67-year-old,
I don't remember him as a player ever.
Yeah, he was really pretty good.
All right. So the Hall of Fame, what is the word I'm looking for? Candidates have been released. The first time Hall of Fame candidates.
What is this?
NFL. Thank you for
there
asking,
you go.
Tony.
Thank you.
Frank Gore is in his first year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame.
Process. Put him right in.
He's the third rusher in NFL history.
Just to leave Skraby to leave this alone already.
Third rusher in NFL history. The other first-time eligible players to advance are quarterbacks Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. Running back LaShawn McCoy, wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald, tight ends Jason Witten, Greg Olson, and then center Marquise Pouncey. I had a question, Tony. I'm going to go the other way. Drew Brees is probably the only first ballot, no questions asked here. Can you see any of these guys, other guys, getting first ballot Hall of Fame honors?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Okay.
I think Phillip and Jason are on the cusp of first ballot.
Okay.
I can see Phillip more so than Witten getting in their first ballot.
Really? Interesting. Because there's an argument that Phillip Rivers might not even get in at all.
I can't see that.
I can't either. But there is that argument.
His numbers are incredible.
Any longevity, all that stuff. Chris is.
I would say, to answer your question, I would say Larry Fitzgerald and Drew are to me the guarantees that are in there.
Okay, Chris.
First ballot.
Outside of Drew Brees, any other first ballot Hall of Famers here?
I think Fitzgerald would even be in before Brees.
Yeah,
I think Brees is great, but Fitzgerald's one of the greatest ever to play.
Yep,
bar none.
I agree with that.
So I don't think that one's there's some other guys that I think Rivers is going to just get there. I think, I don't think he can keep it against him that he didn't make the Super Bowl. I think he was that good, personally. I think Witten has got a case. Maurice Pouncey might have a case. I don't keep track of linemen that well. I'll tell you whose case is going down in my estimation right now, and I'm not just doing this to get you angry. Maybe I am. But I'm looking for Frank Gore in terms of rushing yards per game in the history of the league. And I'm like,
he did play a lot of games.
Yeah, I guess I'm missing him here because I'm down to 90th on the list, and I still don't even see him there.
Do you know his number?
I know he has 1,600 yards total. That's his total.
He's 1,600?
Oh, here he is. He's 61st.
16,000. Oh, wow. He has 16,000 yards exactly.
Yeah, exactly. He's 61st in yards per game.
He averaged 66 yards a game.
Yeah, Rodney Hampton, LaShawn McCoy's there, MJD, Doug Martin, who just passed. Those are not Hall of Famers. So Frank Gore may have a little more trouble that just because he had a lot of yards. I'm not saying he might deserve a look, but I think Breeze and Fitzgerald go in.
In 2006, I know I agree with what you're saying, Chris. But in 2006, Frank Gore averaged 106 yards per game.
Frank Gore had some moments. There's no question.
Yes, he did. He has some moments with the Dolphins, too.
One, maybe. Not many.
Number 3.
The NFL is taking the remnants of its annual All-Star event to downtown San Francisco during the week of the Bay Area Super Bowl. At the NFL's owner meetings on today, Commissioner Roger Goodell announced that the Pro Bowl games are moving to the week of the Super Bowl. Now the Pro Bowl games are scheduled to take place at the Moscone Center on Tuesday, February 3rd, where the Super Bowl Fan Fest is being held. It's mainly a made-for-TV spectacle, as the largest ballroom in the convention center only holds 4,000 people. Goodell said, quote, "We spent a lot of time evolving our Pro Bowl, talking about how to make our Pro Bowl more attractive, both for our players participating, but also our fans. We spent a great deal of time talking about the objectives, and the objectives really are to celebrate and honor our credible players. And second is to use our game as a global platform. And third is because we have a lot of money riding on it." He did not say the third part. That was me.
Okay.
You just added your own quote.
That's part of the answer. Chris, when are they finally going to get rid of this thing?
Well, I don't know.
They keep moving it. They keep making it a dodgeball game. They can't.
Well, here's my first note. They're trying to, continuing to try to find ways to make it attractive. I don't think that's something they can achieve. This just can't be attractive.
You're not playing this game that's recognizable during the regular season.
It's not attractive.
It's not attractive.
But I think I have one of my really good ideas here.
Okay.
I'm going to solve a lot of issues with one fell swoop.
World hunger?
Nope.
Okay.
Bad Bunny's creating a stir. He's out. The Pro Bowl games are in at halftime of the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. I don't
that
hate
actually I might look at for 5-10 minutes. I'm not knocking Bad Bunny, by the way. I'm basically making light of that being a big story. But hey, how about halftime of the Super Bowl? Anyway, there you go.
They could be like the Pop Warner kids.
That's my good idea. They're fun to watch sometimes. That's my crazy idea.
Tony, when are they going to finally get rid of this game? Or
I don't think they're going to. They're going to keep trying to revitalize this. And I think until they understand that
they're hoping never if they throw enough darts, they're going to hit a board.
The reason why people tuned in is because you got the very best at that game playing the game.
The game.
But once they all figured out, like, man, we playing this game and we're getting hurt and there's nothing at the end of this, it's not worth it. It was lost, and it's going to be lost.
I think when Sean Taylor blew up that punter, that was the end.
We missed those days. Man, I mean, it's the same thing that we're seeing in the NBA, right? The reason why people aren't interested anymore is because those guys aren't playing the same way that we watched them play during the regular season, which is all I think anybody really wants to see.
I would even argue the NBA All-Star game is more important just because if I want to see a lot of scoring, and I want to see these guys make crazy shots.
There's a resemblance of the game, at least,
with
the All-Star game. But
they're not playing defense.
The reason why it's not as interesting as it used to be is because it doesn't look anything like a regular season game.
Yeah, you could tell those guys are just there for Do they get paid for the All-Star game? I'm sure they do.
Number 2.
The NFL may reconsider alternatives to the onside kick in the future, while the dynamic kickoff, which I really like, guys, has increased returns. Successful onside kicks remain pretty low. 3 of 50 in 2024 and just 1 of 21 this season. So it's basically a non-existent
and it's taking
thing
a little of the excitement out when you get ahead by 2 scores at the end of the game.
And then you have to declare it and all this other stuff.
Really
you can only do
now.
it in the fourth quarter when you're losing. Despite last year, I thought this was okay. A 4th and 20 proposal was rejected, where you just have to gain 20 yards to get the ball back. NFL executive Troy Vincent suggests further discussion is needed given less than 5% recovery rate. Tony, what would you do with the onside kick?
You know, the good person in me wants to say, you know, we should continue the way they're going about it, taking out more contact. But the football person in me was like, we need it back.
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember the Seahawks getting that onside kick against Green Bay when it seemed like their day was over.
And surprise onside kicks are exciting.
Right.
And they don't exist anymore.
They don't exist. You gotta tip the other team off that it's happening.
Yeah.
I think that's silly. But I guess in the name of safety.
Oh, stop it.
If the NFL doesn't care about
You
safety,
all know
you
it's
can't
lip
care about
service.
safety.
I know it's lip service. I mean, what was the guy who wobbled into the tent the other night in the Giant game and Cam Scatterville brought him back on the field?
No, Brian Dable basically
I mean, come on.
I mean, listen, I don't
care.
I do think it's lip service. I do think it doesn't care, but when you watch an onside kick, it is quite painful to watch.
It is.
To watch those dudes line up and just they're not even concerned about anything other than smashing into and breaking the wall.
But the actual onside kick is not going to change no matter what they do. It's still the same as it ever was. It's just that you got to tell them you're doing it.
Yeah.
The contact's still the same.
I think they should get if that's true. So for that
reason, I think they should just go back to the old kickoff.
Right,
that's what
100%.
That's what I would do.
Oh, that's
I agree with that. No,
well,
the old kickoff,
not the old kickoff, but the old way of not having to inform the team that you're getting.
Like you can surprise someone with an onside kickoff.
I think that's silly.
I do too, but then those guys are already down the field as it is.
It defeats the purpose of having an onside kick. I don't know. There should be a way in which you don't have to inform, and they got to pay attention to your personnel.
I like the one play. Gain 25 yards. That's difficult. Is that as difficult as an onside kick?
That just doesn't seem like
it's
football.
not football. Now you're going away from the game.
Things. Did I ask you? Oh, Chris, what would you do?
I told you, bring back the old kickoff.
Chris just wants CTE everywhere.
I mean, well, are we gonna? I mean, can somebody show me something that says that every CTE injury happened on kickoffs?
They can't.
Greg Camarillo, friend of the show, he told me he was on kickoff return and he was in the wedge, and he said the wedge was one of the hardest places to play because you are standing there and those guys are running full speed.
Yeah.
I don't think he would walk the old kickoff.
I saw Greg last night.
Shout out, Greg.
You mentioned his name. I just see him flying down the field with that pass from Cleo Lemon.
Of course.
Every time.
Of course.
I wanted to bring that up to him so bad, but we were, amongst San Diego State students, they probably didn't want to hear nothing about that.
They're like, wait, he actually had an NFL career?
Number 1.
Lou Gehrig's uniform from his final Yankee Stadium appearance is sold for $2.712 million at auction, the most ever paid for a piece of Gehrig memorabilia. It was worn by Gehrig at Game 2 of the 39 World Series, and the winning bid included a buyer's premium. I don't know what that means. $2.712 million. Chris, if you buy this jersey, where are you keeping it in your house?
If I bought it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I haven't thought this through because you know what I think of these
Do you
things.
have a place where would you put it above your helmets that you have in your office?
Yeah, I don't have any place worthy of something that expensive. I'll be straight up with you there.
Yeah, I think I would
really
have to put it in a safe.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to lock it up almost, wouldn't you?
I know Tony probably has a spot.
That bad boy's going old school right underneath the bed.
Underneath the bed?
We're going to put it in like a nice casing.
Oh, so you couldn't even see it?
Yeah.
So just sits there
for a time being.
You're buying it for $2 million, 2.7
and you put it
million,
under the bed?
At some point, I'll get it up, just not immediately.
You're weird, too.
All right. More on the other side.
San Diego isn't just a baseball.
Friday time and time for our regular Friday visit. And today we bring in Gavin Sheets from the Padres as the Padres get set to start the three-game series tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. Gavin Sheets last joined us at spring training. I don't know if you remember that particular interview, Gavin, sitting out there by the benches, but we were really impressed and we really couldn't wait to see you play. But really at that time, I don't think anybody was totally expecting what has happened since that time, which is, you having a great season and, putting yourself squarely in the middle of what the Padres have accomplished this year. So congratulations to you, and just talk a little bit about, what this season has meant to you so far.
Yeah, I think that obviously I do remember that the conversation we had out there in completely different times. And no, I think that, kind of when I was talking to you then too, it was just, looking back at this off season, the things I wanted to accomplish, the places I wanted to go. And, I wanted a new change of scenery where the excitement was there and where the goal was to win a World Series. And I think, you look now, we're at August 1st and, at this point right now, I've matched some career highs. And I think that after we saw what happened yesterday, I think that the goal of winning a World Series is right in front of us.
Yeah. Gavin Sheets joins us here, Padre outfielder, DH. He's kind of done a little bit of everything for the Pods. And Gavin, let's talk about the process, because we knew from having that conversation in spring training what your goals were, the things you kind of wanted to accomplish. But I know as you go through the season, you kind of have to be able to be flexible in how you are going to manage all of this. You've had times where you've been hot. You've cooled, gotten back hot. What has that process been like for you, sticking with it through some of the ups and downs you've had?
Yeah, I mean, it's the beautiful thing of baseball is no matter how hot you are, how cold you are, you got to come to the ballpark the next day and do it again. And being an everyday guy for the first time in my career has been incredible. And I think you learn how to handle those things, and you kind of learn on the fly. And you battle with, soreness and all this stuff that goes on, and showing up to the ballpark every single day and bringing it, and, dealing with slumps, dealing with hot streaks. And I've just enjoyed every second of it. Worldly, the roles might change a little bit going forward, but, whatever it is and whatever I need to do, and, the goal and the work ethic and all that still stays the same going forward.
Gavin, you knew that you could come here and be a big contributor, and you told us that, and you had us believing. I imagine that everyone was confident in your ability, when they put you in the lineup opening day. But how much did it mean to you personally and in terms of feeling a part of things to get that home run on opening day? Just contribute right off the bat, kind of signal to everybody that, yeah, I'm going to be around to help this club this year.
Yeah, that was I couldn't have scripted a better start. Obviously, that was about as cool as it gets. I hit a home run in the playoffs in 21, and that was about as close as, if not better, a feeling than I've ever had in my career. So that was just incredible. I mean, obviously playing in front of this home crowd and getting the first taste of it that day, and to be able to produce like that was a pretty special welcome to San Diego, to say the least.
Gavin, obviously we got a chance to chat with your dad, Larry, out in Philadelphia. He was out on the field. And I imagine for him, as it was for my dad, watching you is probably much harder than it was for him to be on the field. How much has he enjoyed getting a chance to see your success and get to be an everyday player through most of this year so far?
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, he stresses out more watching me than when he played, for sure. But he's thoroughly enjoyed it. He's thoroughly enjoyed watching the the brand of baseball we play, the way we go about our business, and obviously being a contributing factor to that has made it enjoyable for him. He can't stand the West Coast time zone. He said he's losing a lot of sleep because of it, but he's thoroughly enjoying every second of it.
Friday time and time for our regular Friday visit. And today we bring in Gavin Sheets from the Padres as the Padres get set to start the 3-game series tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. Gavin Sheets last joined us at spring training. I don't know if you remember that particular interview, Gavin, sitting out there by the benches, but we were really impressed and we really couldn't wait to see you play. But really at that time, I don't think anybody was totally expecting what has happened since that time, which is, you having a great season and, putting yourself squarely in the middle of what the Padres have accomplished this year. So congratulations to you. And once again, then the break is better than the show.
I actually just put a video up on the Gwynn and Chris Instagram of something that happened during the break with Chris.
Earlier.
Yes,
Chris
earlier.
Chris was not happy.
So go to the Instagram, Gwynn and Chris.
Yeah.
Did you let it ride, or did you? Bleep
I bleeped it.
Okay, thank you.
Chris,
tell my wife not to go to that Instagram post, which means she'll now go.
5:01 into the happy hour. We travel. Just want to remind you guys, all guests on 97 through the Fan, join us
again.
On the David P. Shapiro.
It's every hour.
David P. Shapiro, criminal
no,
defense attorney.
Stop, please.
Helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit David P. Shapiro Law.
I got a way we can get all of our great listeners involved in the show. I think every day one listener signs up to be the guest David P. Shapiro fan hotline reader.
I'm going to have you take this up with our boss.
And they get to come on 3 times during the show live and read that spot.
It's not 3.
Yeah, no kidding. 4.
We're on for 4 hours.
That's really not that bad.
It's not.
It's a good spot. I'm just saying it's a little.
And we really appreciate David P. Shapiro.
I know that's what we're supposed
Shout
to be
out
saying.
to Mr. Shapiro.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Shapiro.
If Chris ever needs anyone to defend him criminally, it will be you.
We hope he'll take his case at this point.
Yeah, right. He might turn me down.
We're trying to help you, Chris.
Where shall we go, fellas?
I got a couple of little things.
What you got?
Well, the NBA, the ESPN. I have on one of my sheets here, and now I'm thumbing through to find it. ESPN did a poll of all of its experts today. So who's going to win what?
Oh, okay, yes. Okay, before you get into that,
yeah,
I do have a bone to pick a little bit.
Me?
Not the writers out there. It's
okay.
Day 1 of the NBA takes place last night.
Yeah.
And my team lost.
Your club was beaten.
And so, I typically will open up The Athletic or ESPN to see what they had to say about it.
Right. Lakers lost.
Right.
And,
mind
you,
you, game 1. I just want to remind everybody.
81 to go.
A lot of games this year to play. Apparently, one game is enough to make the prediction that this is not going to work.
This Laker thing isn't going to work.
Missing LeBron, the Lakers' two timeline approach shows flaws against the Warriors. These are the type of and listen, granted, in this case, Dan Woke may not have written the actual title, but it insinuates that after game 1 that there has been a whole lot revealed in game 1. I just don't think that it's possible in one game for there to be a ton revealed.
Hard to believe that you could totally give up on them. JJ Redick said today that LeBron was part of practice today in going through film and, coming up with some things and some input. And here's one thing that Redick said that they identified in the game last night. I bet you'll agree with this, Tony. Said that we did a poor job of locating the lasers in transition, which I didn't know what that meant, but it means when you're going back on defense in this day and age of the NBA, you've got to run defensively to where the shooters are standing.
Yes.
So that they can't get 3-pointers off.
Lasers.
And that's what he's calling lasers, the 3-pointers out there. And he's right. Buddy Hield kept getting open
all game long
on transition threes.
Right.
It wasn't a play that they're running in the half
They
court.
were actually pretty good half court wise yesterday.
And you just can't give open threes in the NBA. These guys shoot 40%, and I bet you when they're open, they shoot 50%. Like if you're not there to guard them.
Right. I bet you they're shooting more than 50%.
Right, if you're not guarding them. Hield and Curry were 8 for 19 from the arc. And as you just said, if you hadn't to guard them at all, they'd be 15 for 19. These guys don't miss anymore. No. You can't just hope they'll miss a three. These teams don't. So that's to me, that's a good thing. I can't give up on everything. Marcus Smart's going to be a big part of it. He's going to start figuring out how to defend within the context of their defense. And I still think he can shut people down. And you can't take one of the greatest players in the history of the sport out of the lineup and not expect they're going to look a little different. That's my thought. Warriors look good, though. I mean, Curry is so smart out there, right, Tony? He just knows where to go.
He's so good.
Yeah.
The last three he threw up really
that broke your heart. You're down 7. There was a little hope left for the minute and a half.
There was a glimmer of hope.
He's 43. He's basically eating popcorn out of the ladies' bucket at courtside. Just launches it in.
Skraby, I just got to look at the Houston situation, the timeout that was called.
Yeah, Kevin Durant called a timeout.
That the refs
didn't think he called a timeout.
And who did you say?
Oh, Chet Holmgren.
No, it was not Chet Holmgren.
Joe Musgrove?
It wasn't.
Chet Holmgren and Joe Musgrove they're not identical at all, but they have a similar profile.
Same jawline.
Yeah. What? Who was it?
It was the other big man that used to play for the Knicks.
I don't know.
I can't remember his name.
You lost me.
He lost Porzingis?
He did play for I can't be mad at that answer. He did play for the Knicks. I'll tell you here in a sec. It was.
I do this to Chris, so I'll do it to Tony too.
Yeah.
What
are we going for here? We're going for who Chet Holmgren looks like?
No.
I'm trying to get the facts right on who actually. Oh, that's part of the problem. I'm looking at the wrong game. That was Oklahoma City and Houston. I can't find a score. Oh, here we go. Boom.
All right, let me start over the Jeopardy
music. Drum roll.
This is taking forever.
Yeah, I don't even know what we're doing. I would jump in and try to end this.
Hartstein. Hartstein.
Okay, I've never heard of him.
Yes,
you have. The center for Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Their middle center guy,
yes.
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein.
Yeah. Isaiah Hartenstein or something. Yes, he did play for the Knicks.
Yes.
Prior
he's
to
got
going
a lot
to
of tattoos.
OKC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He was upset though. What
he
did
was
you
upset
think, Tony?
that Durant.
What?
Did Durant call timeout?
He definitely called timeout.
Okay, thank you.
And you know how I know he called it because Segun was getting into telling him to not call timeout. No, we don't have any more left.
Yeah.
Basically. So they got away with that one.
But they lost anyway, so karma. It's all karma, Tony.
It is. Cleveland right now still down to the Knicks. 13. Knicks kind of running away with this one a little bit.
Knickerbockers.
Yes. That is the name of their team.
All right.
PGA Tour.
I was on the NBA thing. I was going to give you the experts.
Oh yeah,
NBA picks. Unless you want to switch.
No, go ahead.
That too.
All right. So there's 14 experts. Who do you think they picked in the East? Remember, Boston doesn't have Tatum, and Indiana lost Halliburton and Miles Turner. So who's left in the East?
Cleveland.
Cleveland, 6 votes. 8 votes left.
How about New York?
They got the other 8. That's it. Those are the only 2
teams.
The East
is wide open.
But not according to these guys.
I'm saying the fact that the Knicks and Cleveland got all of the votes, I think speaks to how wide open it is.
Oh, okay.
I think both of those rosters are flawed.
Okay.
So
the East, I'll tell you the teams I like on the rise.
Real quick, this is how we're always clouded by the most recent history.
Right.
Philly, who was terrible last year, in part because Embiid pretty much missed the whole season.
Right.
Their team could easily be a team that healthy engaged again.
Got Paul George still.
Right. Could be a team right back in the
Got
thick of
Embiid healthy if he stays that way. They have some talent.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the two teams that I think you look out for in the East, and I, could be totally wrong. But I like the upward arc of both Orlando and Detroit.
Orlando and Detroit?
Yeah, Orlando and Detroit.
Yeah. I mean,
younger teams that are
both of those are really young teams.
Making some hay.
Both of those teams, if they would be making a huge jump if
they were both in the playoffs last year. Orlando lost to Boston, and the Pistons gave the Knicks a pretty good one before they fell. All right. West, you got 4 different teams got votes, Tony, out of the 14 votes. West to win the West.
OKC.
Now you got 9 of them. So there's only 5 left.
Minnesota.
Minnesota didn't get one. Although I would consider
Denver.
Minnesota. Denver got 3 votes.
So that's
there's
2 more.
1 each left. I don't agree with one. I don't necessarily agree with either of these.
The Lakers didn't get one.
Lakers didn't get one. A team got one that would not please Laker fans.
Oh, the Clippers.
No.
What?
Please them even less. Dallas got a vote to win the West.
That would be something.
That's a hater right there. And then the Rockets got the other vote, which I don't know that I'd go. For the championship, 9 votes, clear winner, OKC. Everybody thinks they're going to repeat. There hasn't been a repeat winner in 8 years. The other ones, Denver got 2, Cleveland, again, Dallas and Houston. All right, who do you got for MVP? 14 votes. Who got the most votes for MVP? According to the NBA experts.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
I'm going to say
Ant-Man got 1.
I'm going to say Jokic.
Jokic got 6. He got the most.
That's odd.
Doesn't he win it every year?
He could. He could win it.
Who won it last? Oh, he didn't win it last year, though. They SGA got it.
How many votes he gets? The SGA gets.
SGA got 4. Jokic got 6. There's 3 votes left. You got Edwards with 1. 2 more players got votes.
Brunson.
Brunson got 1. And 2 votes left. 4.
Are they split or the same guy?
Same guy. 2 votes left. 4.
LeBron? No.
Same team, though.
Same team as the Knicks?
No, same team as LeBron.
Oh, Luka.
Luka. He got the other 2. So we'll see where it goes with the NBA. I think it would be fun if an Orlando or a Detroit or somebody could break through. Although I guess the Knicks are considered a breakthrough because they haven't been there in so long.
I kind of don't want the Knicks to win. They fired a coach that gave them the most success they've had in however many years. And although I do like Mike Brown, we'll see.
USD,
yeah,
the bastion of NBA coaches. David Fizdale, USD.
Take that for data.
Greg Popovich.
Take that for data.
Greg Popovich and Hank Egan, who coached the USD, were like this.
Thick as thieves.
So many USD guys. Weird. I say.
They got the coaches.
It's weird, isn't it? I mean, it's a little tiny school.
It is. It is
have
strange.
like Bickerstaff, another USD guy. So weird, I say.
All right, let's get to break.
I've been looking everywhere for Albert Pujols updates. Got nothing.
Nothing.
I don't think you're going to get anything, buddy.
We have an Emmanuel Clase update.
We do. We'll get to that.
We also have an explanation of why I'm the coolest godfather in the history of godfathers.
Oh, I've been trying to push this off for 3 days now.
Yeah, well, it's time has come.
Some traffic and Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
From the 8-5.
The gondola pulls in.
Yeah.
It goes very slow.
Yeah, it slows down
like
for everybody.
Really slow. As we're getting off, over to my left, there's a couple getting in the gondola, going up the mountain. So it's the opposite for them. They're standing there. The gondola comes up. The door opens. You step on. Well, there was a commotion.
Uh-oh.
There was a commotion.
Someone fell?
There was a commotion, and Lori goes, "Hey, there's a commotion."
She said commotion?
I don't think she said that. But we go kind of not hustling, but walking over there quickly. There's a lady who has fallen as she's trying to get into the gondola. She's now got one leg in the gondola.
Oh, no!
The other leg and body trapped underneath the gondola.
90.
No, she's probably in her late 50s. How do I say this best?
Oh, she's heavyset?
She's in the shape of somebody who's in their 70s. You've got to rescue the poor lady. She's trapped under the gondola. Of course, as soon as she falls and there's the commotion, the guy running the station stops the gondola.
Okay, I was going to
Which means everybody on the mountain and 4 miles away has to stop. Everybody has to stop while we try to extricate the lady from the gondola.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Underneath the gondola. She's got one leg on the gondola. The rest of her body is underneath the gondola. And when I arrive to see what's going on, I'm kind of the first or second person there.
You're a first responder?
Pretty much. The guy running the gondola place is busy stopping
traffic.
The ride.
Yeah.
No, he's stopping the ride.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we're kind of first there. Lori's behind me. The lady's on her back. She's looking straight up in the air. And the only description I have is one of utter panic and utter terror combined with total helplessness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say embarrassment.
No, total helplessness. She's not only trapped, but she's not even remotely doing anything to help herself. She's kind of in a panic, and you think something terrible is going to happen, or she does.
Okay.
I go over there. First thing, breathe.
That's what you said?
I told the lady to
That's
breathe.
Good. That's good.
I said, you're going to be okay.
That's good.
Just breathe.
That's good.
Try to relax.
That was the perfect thing you could have said.
As I'm stupidly pulling this 250-pound gondola, trying to pull it off of her. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're getting
the gondola is way heavier than 250 pounds.
Yeah, right. 1,000-pound gondola.
So you're trying to like move the gondola.
Just move it a little.
Is her leg like? How is she attached to this gondola?
Well, I told you her one leg's actually on the gondola in the doorway.
Okay.
Then the rest of her body's underneath. What is stuck with her in the gondola is her belly, not her leg.
Oh no.
That's right. Okay. No. So I'm pulling. By the time finally a couple more people pull and we are able to get enough airway to get her to scramble out of there. And then she immediately stepped on the gondola to go take her ride up the mountain. And off she went.
This is
I felt like I saved her life. I really do. I honestly feel like I almost saved her life.
I kind of will credit you with this.
You know, she was. I think if I didn't tell her to breathe, I think she would have gone into some sort of shock or whatever you do.
No,
she was
you're
going
right.
into
You're
a
right.
panic, Skraby.
You're
She was going into
right.
an absolute panic, and. You know, I had to calming her down, I think, was the number one thing. She wasn't in any real danger, but she wasn't feeling great because she was trapped under the gondola.
But
the
fact that you said her belly was...
Yes, her belly, yeah. I'm telling you, Scrabe, it was a factor. And there was, there's a couple of people pulling on an arm trying to drag her out.
I'm crying.
I know. There's people on the other side with her arm. They're trying to drag her. I'm like lifting the gondola so she can get a little room to get out of there.
You're like, hey, I'm going to take the gondola. It's lighter.
All right. I didn't say that. You did. But it was quite the scene.
I am happy that she's okay, obviously.
She's fine. If she got right on the gondola.
If this was a worse story, I would not be laughing. But she's fine. You did probably help her a lot more than you think you did.
I think so. Because she was able to calm down just a tad. The gondola pulls in.
Yeah.
It goes very slow.
Yeah, it slows down
like
for everybody.
Really slow. As we're getting off, over to my left, there's a couple getting in the gondola.
Okay.
Going up the mountain. So it's the opposite for them. They're standing there. The gondola comes up. The door opens. You step on. Well, there was a commotion.
Uh-oh.
There was a commotion.
Someone fell.
There was a commotion, and Lori goes, hey, there's a commotion.
She said commotion?
I don't think she said that. But we go kind of not hustling, but walking over there quickly. there's a lady who has fallen as she's trying to get into the gondola. She's now got one leg in the gondola.
Oh, no!
The other leg and body trapped underneath the gondola.
90.
No, she's probably in her late 50s. How do I say this best?
Oh, she's heavyset?
She's in the shape of somebody who's in their 70s. You've got to rescue the poor lady. She's trapped under the gondola. And of course, as soon as she falls and there's the commotion, the guy running the station stops the gondola.
Okay, I was going to
Which means everybody on the mountain and 4 miles away has to stop. Everybody has to stop while we try to extricate the lady from the gondola.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Underneath the gondola.
What?
She's got one leg on the gondola. The rest of her body is underneath the gondola. And when I arrive to see what's going on, I'm kind of the first or second person there.
You're a first responder?
Pretty much. The guy running the gondola place is busy stopping
Traffic,
the ride.
yeah.
No, he's stopping the ride.
Oh, okay, all right.
So we're kind of first there. Lori's behind me. The lady's on her back. She's looking straight up in the air. And the only description I have is one of utter panic and utter terror combined with total helplessness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say embarrassment.
No, total helplessness. She's not only trapped, but she's not even remote. This hour brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals at super low prices throughout the store and everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. It all ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program. Staples. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn, Skraby. Skraby's got the Chronicles coming up at 6 o'clock. We got some NBA going here on opening night number 2. Biggest game on the board, Knicks and Cavaliers. These are the two teams that the pundits say are going to compete for the title in the East. Right now, the Knicks have the edge 65-50 at halftime.
I got questions.
Yes, sir.
You guys are, how closely are you guys looking at Chuck?
Hadn't looked just enough to know that he wasn't
Barkley.
wearing his horn-rimmed clear glasses that he looks kind of funny in.
Has Chuck always had the chiclet veneers? Is that a new thing?
I have to look then. I didn't see that.
Okay, I didn't understand what you're even saying.
His teeth. He's got his teeth done.
Veneers.
Oh, yeah.
Did he have bad teeth before?
I don't know.
looked.
I never noticed it until now. I mean,
So you think his teeth are looking far too perfect?
they're not looking. They are perfect.
They are perfect.
And I don't recall noticing that before.
Well,
me see.
we're talking about it because these guys, you know, the NBA crew with Shaq and
Ernie,
Charles and everybody,
Kenny.
they're now on ESPN, but they're not on nearly as often. You have to really kind of search for them. But tonight is their ESPN debut.
I don't know. His teeth look pretty good in this picture.
Yeah, maybe he always had them. But when you get a look at him coming up,
Here's
here,
best of inside the NBA. I wonder if that will show some of the old Chuck clips.
Chuck's
And we can
definitely
do kind of a comparison.
Chuck's definitely
here.
thin. His face is looking quite lean. They tried to goad him with a San Antonio question early. He didn't take the bait this early.
He doesn't like San Antonio?
You hadn't heard his rant about San Antonio before? It's pretty famous. I'm sure it's gone viral quite a few times.
I have
don't
not
know.
heard this.
Tony, clue me in.
Yeah, I'll let you guys look at it.
Oh,
during
wow.
the
Oh,
break.
we're not allowed to.
I mean, it's just kind of.
All right, I have another thing that would here's Charles back in the day. Teeth.
He definitely
didn't
has,
look
listen,
that bad, Tony.
His
didn't
teeth
look
didn't
bad.
look that bad, but I'm telling you.
But they're better now. Okay.
Right, his teeth were never
All right.
bad, but they're better now.
What do you think he would say about this story? Hadn't thought about it until just now because I read this earlier. Tom Izzo, Michigan State, is livid.
Yes. Tom seems to live it quite often.
But I don't blame him this time.
No, I don't
think I
don't
blame
blame him most of his rants.
Right. Here's what he's upset about. And I had no clue this was happening. Maybe you did, Tony, or
I read the article. That's why I did.
Right. So I read the article too. That's the only reason I knew. Apparently, if you're in the G League, you come out of college, you don't make the NBA, you're in the G League, or you leave college early, should I say, right? You go to the G League, you never make the NBA. You can then come back to college now. And apparently there are players from over in Europe that are trying to get into the NBA. They don't make it. They go to the G League for 2 or 3 years. They get bigger, stronger, et cetera. And then they go back to college to play. And Izzo's like, what are we doing? Like, you know what? They're getting paid in the G League. Understand that. That is a professional league. Now we have broken down the seal with the NIL.
I was about to say they're getting paid in college too now.
But I kind of get where Izzo is here. I mean, I don't know. When are we going to just end this? Are we just going to have no rules and just let it be kind of everything run amok?
I think eventually we get there. I don't know when that's going to be.
What, the run amok?
No, we're already there running amok.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking about, I think eventually we get some type of rules and regulation. It's just, unfortunately, this is the process that has to happen, right? And it was the same as things. It always will be the same as new kind of, I guess, marketplaces in this.
As soon as right. Nobody probably had ever thought about going from the G League back to college.
Right. Well,
but now that it's happening,
we did used to have kids that would leave early, wouldn't get drafted, and there was no recourse for that.
Right.
And I do recall as a young teenager hearing some of those stories and people kind of feeling like, well, you should at least be able to, because it used to be if you declared, you couldn't test the waters and come back. They kind of loosened that up a little bit. But I think for now, with you got guys coming from going to the G League, not making it and wanting to go back to college, there's going to have to be something at some point. It just not only, listen, I'm all for, giving everybody the opportunity to live out their dream, but it only complicates things for the incoming freshmen.
That's
possibly.
What Izzo said. He goes, imagine going to a school where you feel like you've got a pretty good chance to play. You're a freshman, you've been recruited, you come in. All of a sudden, some guy who's 24 years old playing in the G League comes in and goes, I'm going to go to school there. And now you've already committed, at least for that year, right? Your life has changed.
Yep.
And you got to go tell that kid and his parents, sorry, I got no room for you now.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what Izzo's saying.
We're gonna. It's gonna be some pains until we get to the point where there is some type of regulation.
And I like what he says here, Tony. He says, I don't respect who's ever doing these decisions. Well, no, what he said is whoever made these decisions are doing it because they're afraid that some lawyer is going to sue them.
Right.
And what Izzo said is, hey, sooner or later, you got to stand up and fight.
Right.
Can't just always give in to
they're
the
going to
potential.
sue us. So let's just go. Yeah, that's a great point.
Izzo's like, hey, eventually you got to stand up.
So what?
Let them sue you. I mean, we got to make some rules at some point.
This is about to kind of hammer home that point. This is about a sport and the people in it. There are people doing unjust things that know they're going to get sued all the time and still do it anyway. So I think it's the same thing. You get a chance to maybe rectify a situation and you are worried about being sued. As you said, as Izzo said, at some point you got to just put your feet into the ground here.
London Johnson is a player. He's 21 years old. He's played the last 3 years in the G League. 3 years he's got experience in the G League. He eligible now. He committed to Louisville this week. That's kind of where this began. And I have less issue with a 21.
I have less issue with a 21-year-old. I have more of an issue with a 24, 25, or perhaps 26-year-old.
Right.
Going back to college.
All right. Well, the gates are now open for G Leaguers to go play college, apparently. So have fun with that. All right. I guess we can wait another day to find out why I'm such a great
No. We've been teasing this for
Godfather.
too long. We have an Emmanuel Clase update because I did tease that. Basically, he wants to go play for his Dominican winter ball team, and
he's the Guardian pitcher that was basically kicked out while they looked at
By the way, what is taking so long?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Like, they probably want to make sure they're right.
Well, if you hold up, when did this happen? The middle of summer?
It was summertime.
At some point, I mean, especially if you seem to have all of these people like looking into it or paying attention to it,
right?
Why is it taking so long to tell us if he was gambling?
I don't know, because you can't prove intent.
You're
looking into other bets he made, maybe?
It doesn't matter about intent. If you gambled on the sport
you
at
gambled.
all,
yeah,
it's a wrap. We know that.
Well, he was going to pitch. I should correct this: Venezuelan Winter League, but the Dominican Republic has barred him from pitching this offseason for the Estrellas Orientales.
He wanted to pitch for his hometown in the Dominican. His team and the president are at odds. So she said no, or he said no, he or she said no. So then he tried to go to Venezuela. And based on the collective bargaining agreement and the rules that they have, if you are on your home country's in his case, Dominican team, you have to get permission from your MLB team to then go to another country and play. Because he's under investigation, the Guardians said no. And so he's stuck playing no baseball.
And now he's suing
both leagues, it sounds like, Venezuela and Dominican.
I'll tell you one thing. Emmanuel Clase is never going to bounce a curveball in the dirt ever again.
Man, his command is going to be, especially if he didn't do this.
Guy threw one pitch out of the strike zone, and he hasn't been able to play for 6 months now.
KG knows why it's taking so long.
Tell us, KG.
He is an Ohtani, so they actually have to investigate. Remember when Ohtani was cleared in like a day and a half, and it's been 6 months, and they're still looking into this Class A thing?
That's my point. It's 6 months.
I didn't know you were going for that.
I know you remember it because you're always going to rail on Ohtani.
6 months is a long time. Let me ask you this.
So how did Ohtani get cleared?
Let me ask you this.
Ohtani got cleared in 6 minutes.
Hold up.
Come on, let's not kid ourselves.
There's a difference. The feds were involved in Ohtani's. This is Major League Baseball. Not the same.
All right.
Chris, question.
Yeah.
How long did it take for the whole Pete Rose thing to play itself out?
I don't think they ever got it done even after he passed away. They were still looking into that, weren't they?
That is true.
So maybe it takes time. All right, I'll back off. But it does seem like...
It doesn't when you're Ohtani.
It does, again, feds versus MLB.
That means that it takes longer if the federal government is involved.
No, when the feds say they got something, they got something. They didn't say they had.
We're never going to be.
Yeah, that's because
you'll never believe.
You want to believe it.
Yeah.
So
Chris,
bad.
don't you think it's a little funny that Ohtani got cleared so fast, and then Clase and this other dude, Luis Ortiz, are sitting around waiting for a decision? They're probably like, "Please tell me if I'm banned or not."
MLB does
Ohtani's good for the sport, and I got to stick up for that. Michael Jordan didn't get kicked out of the NBA for gambling either. He was upset that his father had been killed. I'll stick with that as well. Till the day I die.
There is a conspiracy behind that.
There are a lot of people who feel
that David Stern
took him out of the league for a couple years.
Yes, because he had a gambling issue, which we all know was true.
Ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Which we all know.
I'm not saying that the David Stern part's true. We know that Michael Jordan probably has a gambling. He does have a gambling issue. He carries dice in his pocket for any moment.
Who told you that?
I thought that was
Tony,
a common
knowledge up against
thing.
the board with that security guard. Come on.
I thought that was common knowledge.
I didn't know he carried dice in his pocket.
That either, but I know that Jordan is a pretty good gambler.
Wild,
no, I
bro.
read that he went to dinner. There was a MTV video VJ.
Very TMZ-ish right here.
They went to dinner, and apparently Jordan just pulled out dice from his pocket and was like, I don't even want to say the rest of the story, but he was trying to like make a bet on whether or not she would come back to his room if he rolled a certain number.
This is just, I did not read any of this. I don't know what you're talking about.
So neither did Ohtani.
All right, we'll take that break that we promised you, and then we'll probably have to read a spot when we come back.
Oh, stop it.
Ben and Wood.
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and it was totally wrong on my part. Totally wrong.
Looking up their account number?
Just I searched their name in the account system, And
Skraby, what is wrong with you?
I was like 19.
You'd be better off.
You
Would be better. You'd be better off admitting that you wore your underwear inside out. Frankly,
This guy is just searching up people's accounts.
It only happened that one time because I got caught.
How did you get caught?
The account was flagged, and anybody taking a look at it gets logged. And so I got called into the boss's office like 3 days later.
What did that come? I'm sorry, I gotta ask, but nobody's supposed to be doing this preview. What did that conversation? How did it go?
Well, why were you looking up Paris Hilton? Is that who it was?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my goodness.
I can neither confirm. That's really funny, Chris, that you just yelled out that name out of all names. No. But I walked in, I got called into the office, and I sat down, and all my boss, I loved her. She was great. Her name was Sharon. Amazing boss. She just slid the piece of paper in front of me.
You knew.
Said, "Did you visit this account?" And I looked. Yeah. She was like, "We're gonna have to write you up for this, and if you do it again, we're gonna have to fire you." And I said, "I'll never do it again." And I got out of there as soon as possible. I took everything, but it was not good. Not good.
Just curiosity, huh? He's like, I wonder how much they have in their account.
Yeah. I mean, before I got caught, I did look up athletes. And,
oh my God! I'm so glad you're sitting in this seat now.
Yes, I'm so happy you're not doing any job that can be dangerous to people's futures.
This was in the first year that I was there. I learned my lesson thoroughly.
Chris, as I said, as soon as they walked in, there was like,
yeah,
that's our guy right there.
That's our window.
We're gonna take him down.
Yep.
Just lucky I didn't get caught for like. I can't even say. I'll tell you guys off break whose account I saw and how much money they had sitting in their checking account.
And this was how long ago, too, by the way?
2009, 10. Way before I became a good person.
Didn't Bank America end up getting in trouble? Or was that it was one of those banks got in trouble?
All of them get in trouble for selling information. But
I heard folks like you.
I wasn't selling any information. I was just wanting to see what was going on.
Curious.
I didn't check their account activity, which I could have. Been like, oh, they bought this here. I'm going to go up there. You know, I'm not that creepy.
Well, that's stock.
Oh, yeah, you're not that bad.
I'm not that creepy.
This is amazing, by the way. We're supposed to be doing.
How are we supposed to do baseball picks under these circumstances?
We can't anymore. I think we gotta push it. You guys never did it. Well, I mean,
no, Skraby, we didn't.
Really? Okay. Like you work at a bank, you looking at people's account information.
That's
unbelievable.
It only happened for a little bit, and then I got
only for a little bit.
I can't stop laughing at this because it is quite hilarious, Skraby.
But you were saying that I may have gotten robbed or whatever. I actually did get robbed when I worked in San Francisco, and they're called quick change artists.
How long did you work in the banking industry?
8 years. I was a teller supervisor when I finished. I was also the merchant teller, which took in around $150,000 in cash a day. Guess what? Always balanced at the end of the day.
Yeah, I bet.
But there was a guy who walked in. He had about $5,000 in hundreds, and he handed it to me. He said, "Can I get 50s for these?" And I said, you know, it's pretty annoying that he wants
$5,000 in hundreds.
And he wanted $5,000 in 50s. He just wanted 50s instead of hundreds. So I had to go get it from the vault. I come back. I'm starting to count it out, and then he's like starting to ask me questions as I'm counting it out.
He's trying to
what did
I tell you, Chris? This is what I'm talking about.
That window right there.
Hey, this guy was so good that no one saw it coming. But so when I started getting mad at him because I counted out the 50s, he goes, "What are you doing?" I asked for 20s. And I'm like, what? You did not ask for 20s. You asked for 50s, bro. Yeah. I had to go to the vault to get those 50s. And as I was getting all mad and talking to my boss, he took the cash off the counter and put it into this folder that he had on the thing that
the original 5,000 in hundreds.
Yeah, well, he kept going like that, and then I was so mad, I just grabbed it and I threw it in my drawer. And then he was like, "You know what? I'm out of here." And he walked out. And then at the end of the day, $3,000.
He got an extra 3 on you.
$3,000. Yeah, he got $3,000.
The thing about criminals like that, they can sniff out a mark really easy.
I'm not a mark.
You are 1,000%.
I was actually the bank's
dog. They got you for 3 extra.
And that's the only time in my 8 years that I ever had anything happen like that.
I'm sure there are people who've been there 8 years that never had zero taken.
Scrape, I got a 20 here. Can I get 5 fives, please?
I hate you guys.
Let's get to
that was one of the worst moments of my life, but you know what? It taught me a lot. Never trust anyone ever again.
You know what? You definitely have learned because you don't trust very many people.
I don't trust anyone
anymore.
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and it was totally wrong on my part. Totally wrong.
Looking up their account number?
Just I searched their name in the account system, and
Skraby, what is wrong with? Yes, indeed. 5:40 on the clock. No read for TG. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Skraby. Skraby, why you got that smirk on your face, man?
I just find it funny that it's not Chris's segment and there's no read, which he's been waiting for.
Ryan Finley, if you missed it, had a great interview with us, kind of highlighting SDFC's season, some of the little drama that's percolated a little bit over the last 24 hours. But before we get to that and some traffic, Mr. Ello, you've been teasing this greatest Godfather thing for a couple days now.
Yeah, Scraby didn't want to tell everybody that, but I think it's good.
I think it's good too.
My godson Connor, his name's been come up on this. He's won a couple of our fantasy.
He's a thorn.
Yeah, he's been in a drought lately.
Yeah, he's got
last couple of years.
Last couple of years, it's been a drought. Yeah,
but he did win a couple of those. So anyway, Connor, great kid. He's getting married on November 14th. It's coming up. And I'm actually performing the ceremony, guys. I'm not just attending the wedding.
I didn't know this.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, I'm actually performing the ceremony.
Is this because you have a great radio voice? Why did they decide
They asked me. I couldn't tell you. You'd have
Dearly
to ask them.
beloved.
Now, or did you have to get certification and all that stuff?
Yes, it took like 4 seconds to click a button. And then for like
certified.
$70, they send you something. You know, it's really, it's a scam.
Sounds like a racket.
It's a racket. So yes, I'm anyway. So I'm going to do the ceremony. I'll be in Utah. I will miss a couple of days that week. But anyway, I got the idea about a week and a half ago on the 1 month deadline before his wedding on October 14th. And I sent him a note and I sent him a picture of me holding the wedding certificate. And I said, hey, just a reminder, 1 more month. And then I thought, maybe it'll be fun with my sports background and acumen to count down every day to his wedding. Day 30, 29 days, 28 days. But instead of just sending him a little note,
number, right,
I would send him a picture of an athlete who wears that particular number. But I wouldn't tell him why I was doing it. And I would say, see if he figures it out or notices the pattern or anything. So today was number 23. Today's 23 days. Of course, I sent him a picture of Michael Jordan.
Still not getting it. Huh?
He's number 23. And yeah, he's still not there. So we'll see. If he ends
7
up getting
days
it or
in,
not.
he's still not there.
7 days. He hasn't noticed that the first day he got Nolan Ryan, who was wearing number 30. Followed by, I think, Marshall Faulk was 28
yep.
On down the line. And yesterday was Willie Mays, 24. Barry Bonds before that, 25.
I have found some of his responses to be quite funny, considering because he's completely he's oblivious to it.
Today, he was like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some NBA games this year. So far, so good.
I can tell you what he's thinking. He's like, what is this crazy guy doing every day?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to appease me by even having some conversation.
How he said, I'm excited for the NBA too.
Yeah. So he's kind of lost. I think when I reveal it to him, and my wife's idea was if he doesn't come up with it, that like on the day before they're having the rehearsal dinner, you should stand up and say, hey, by the way, this is what's been going on.
I think that's
that was
the perfect
a good idea by my wife.
If he gets to that far, then you definitely got to do it.
If he gets that far, he's going to get a picture of somebody wearing number 1.
Right.
And then on the day of his marriage, he's probably getting
Gilbert Arenas
or somebody. Yeah, we're number 0.
Jameer Gibbs is 0 now.
Yeah. Jameer Gibbs, yeah, he'll get a 0.
Brendan Hayward wore 00.
There's a few zeros. So anyway, I'm having some fun with that. Might be an idea you might want to try yourself someday with somebody, because I think it's been kind of fun so far. The terrible thing is it's been fun for me and you and Skraby and my wife.
Connor has
he didn't know anyone what's going on. So
completely oblivious.
Yeah. All right, there you have that.
All right, we have traffic.
Yes, that would be me. Traffic, and then
our interview.
Yes, our interview of the day.
From the
Station 97.3, The Fan.
Ryan Finley is our guy from the San Diego Union Tribune. Sorry you had to put up with that, Ryan. Welcome to the show, sir. How goes things on this Wednesday?
Things are good. Tony, you've never been? It's fun, man. You'll enjoy it.
I think I've heard nothing but fabulous things. I'm looking forward to it.
The atmosphere is great. You know, Ryan, what do you think the crowd? Let's start right at the top. What do we think the crowd's going to be? Because I'm assuming playoff matches were not included in a season ticket package. So the organization has to go back in and make sure they get these tickets sold. Have you heard any thoughts about that? Because I know everyone in San Diego is really excited. I hope they fill it up.
I think so too. And I think it'll be full or full enough, I guess. You know, this is a pretty big deal for them. You know, the first playoff match in franchise history, a chance to make them run sort of at that elusive championship for San Diego. I think that matters. It helps being the number one seed. I think that they've captured San Diego's imagination a little bit here. You know, yes, it's a long season, right? And it's hard to sort of maintain that level of energy and that level of fandom over the course of 8-9 months. But you know, this is a match that really matters. And again, they're running out of firsts. This could be one of their last firsts of their season.
Yeah, there you go.
Ryan, we were kind of kicking this around shortly after the Padres were eliminated, and it dawned on us that if SDFC gets to a championship and wins one, they will be providing, you know, I think what a lot of people would consider the first major championship in this city. Now, how do you think that would fall? I mean, obviously there is so much energy around SDFC, but they are relatively new to the space. What type of impact do you think it could have?
Well, you know, Tony, you've seen it. You've been around San Diego sports your whole life. You know, San Diego likes a winner.
Yeah.
San Diego supports a winner, and it doesn't. You don't have to be the best team in your league every year, but it helps when you try, and it helps when you put forth the effort to put a winner on the field. I think it's no different in soccer. I think that if San Diego were to make a deep run here or even win the whole thing, I think it would turbocharge soccer fandom here in San Diego. It would capture the casual fan, right? I think what we see now at San Diego FC games is people who know sort of the intricacies of MLS, maybe soccer super fans in San Diego, right? This would capture the casual fan.
Yeah.
You know, growing up here myself, Tony, I remember when the Chargers would make the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
And, you know, the secretaries at my school or my parents' friends who I didn't know were sports fans at all of a sudden would have Charger jerseys on, or, you know, they'd put the lightning bolt in their window, right? You know, that's the casual fan, right? That's what we're trying to capture in San Diego, I think, is sort of the minds and the hearts of the casual fan. And so I think that a playoff performance would certainly go a long way toward bringing more people into the fold for soccer in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a lot already. This would be over the top. Ryan Finley is our guest. He's the sports editor of the San Diego Union Tribune and covers our soccer guys, the SDFC. I'm kind of just want to piggyback a little on Tony's question, because just I don't know, the sight of a parade going on or something in this town is something is totally foreign to us, right? We've never had one. And the fact that the Padres have been here all that time, you'd almost have to be careful celebrating a little too much. I don't think you'd want to step on what the Padres have meant to this city. Do you see it becoming just maybe a tad uncomfortable if they end up being the first to win?
maybe the dam will burst, right? Maybe all it takes is one, and then it's just championship after championship.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it would be okay to have a parade because then you'd know exactly what route you would take if and when the Padres did it, or San Diego State got back to the Final Four, or something like that. You know what? I'm not sure it matters what sport the championship comes in. I think most San Diegans would be thrilled to have a championship.
How about the news that came out today? At least it hit kind of the Athletic today, Ryan. Chucky Lozano had an altercation with someone after being subbed out in the second half of that Houston game. How much of an impact can this have? I mean, I know they have missed Chucky at different parts of the season and seemingly have been able to do it flawlessly, but I would assume a player like that you'd like to have come this time of year.
Yeah, our Mark Ziegler, who is our resident soccer expert, he has a message in with SDFC right now, trying to see exactly what it means. Mikey Varas hinted earlier in the week that they would address the Chucky stuff later in the week. They had media availability Friday around noon out at Singing Hills. So my guess is we'll know more, no later than Friday. But yeah, I mean, it's big. If he's suspended or if he's not playing, that's big. He's one of their, not only one of their most bankable players, one of their designated players, but he's somebody who has big match experience.
Yeah.
And, you can't there's so much of a premium placed on that, especially in soccer, right? And nobody else on the team has ever really gone through this before. Having Chucky Lozano on your roster is a plus. I think everybody over there would say they'd rather have Chucky engaged and playing than on the bench.
Yeah.
That said, between the international breaks, some of the injuries that he's had this year, and everything else, they've sort of been forced to play and find ways to succeed without him. And, you look at Saturday, that's what happened. I'm naive, guys. I thought Chucky Lozano didn't play Saturday because the match was played in the rain on turf. He was coming back from international competition, and this is a guy who, frankly, they need to have healthy for the playoffs. I figured that was sort of a healthy scratch, right? Come to find out, there's something more to it than that. So we'll see, but you know what? SDFC has figured it out without him. Amal Pellegrino had 2 goals on Saturday in that big 4-0 win over Portland. There's a path to a championship without Chucky Lozano, but it's certainly easier with Chucky Lozano.
Ryan, Portland plays Salt Lake tonight in the play-in game. I'm sure, everyone in SDFC is going to be watching this. I looked it up. I'm sure you're aware. They're aware. Obviously, just played Portland the last match. Yeah. Just beat them 4-0. I think it would be, pretty cool to play them again. I would think it would certainly be on their minds. Real Salt Lake, they haven't played since 2 matches a long time ago, April and May, and they actually lost one of those to Real Salt Lake. So did they root for Portland here, or should we root for Portland, or is it the typical once you get to the playoffs, it's a whole different animal anyway?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think it would be Portland. They have sort of the most recent scouting report on Portland, right? They were just preparing for them last week.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot has changed. Mikey Varas told us last week too. This time of year, guys, you sort of are who you are, right? Yeah. You're not changing what you do in the month of October, heading into MLS playoffs. So I think that they would be more comfortable playing Portland. The thing that I don't know, just because we don't really have a sample size for this, is it harder to beat a team twice in 3 weeks? Is it harder, then you've got to beat them twice to advance in the playoffs? Is there more of a challenge having just faced them? I'm not sure. But I think that Portland is probably the team you'd rather face just because, you've seen them recently, what you're getting, and you know what you have to do to beat them.
Watching a guy like Dreyer this year as the year went along, and
he should be the MVP. Never mind this. Who's it? Missy? What's his name with the other guy?
I believe they call it. I think it's
Messi. Oh,
yes,
sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of end of the season awards, I mean, his name is involved. I know it sounds like Messi is the clear-cut favorite for the MVP. He won the Golden Boot this year as well. I mean, how good has Dreyer been? I mean, is he certainly worthy enough to be in this MVP conversation?
Oh, sure. I mean, I think he'll finish second would be my guess, behind Messi. It's really hard when you're competing with a guy who's the biggest name in global soccer, also your goals leader in your league this year. The people love goals. The thing that makes Dreyer to me so interesting is how versatile he is. It's not just that he's a goal scorer, it's that he's one of the top assist men in the league. There's a versatility and a team first approach that he has that I think really resonates well. To me, the big surprise this year, sort of big picture, is that it's Andres Dreyer who has become their best player. And maybe he's not the face of the franchise necessarily, but he's had a much better season than Chucky Lozano has. He's the guy who's been in the conversation for all these major awards. I think he's certainly the team MVP. So to me, it's that. He's never going to be Messi in terms of flash or in terms of goal scoring. But the things that he brings to this team are just as important, because he's selfless. He's played with a lot of different guys with all the injuries around him, and it doesn't seem to have slowed him down at all. Saturday, again, he was just amazing.
Yeah, he was.
Saturday against Portland, and playing with Amal Pellegrino, who's been here like a month and, sort of brand new to the position. The two of them certainly seem to have a chemistry that should serve them well in the playoffs.
Ryan Finley, San Diego Union Tribune, joined
Ryan
us.
sounded so good there. We almost just took away half the Skraby show.
We almost had to bleed into the Chronicles a
Sorry
little bit.
about that, Chronicles.
Back at it again tomorrow. Short show, just a reminder. So get in early so you can listen to the banter. Skraby Chronicles.
Yes.
Follow.
Short show, but same number of reads.
Adam, will you please call him on his way out?
Chronicles up next. Y'all enjoy.
Call him, Adam.
Football when they square off against the Washington Commanders. Our coverage begins